so kind. It will speed up.
Richard.
Yeah, Mary's here. Check, check, check.
Check,
Danielle.
check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Check, 1,
4.
2, 3.
Can't see.
How's that?
So am I retiring from throwing now?
Yeah. Very quick.
Jesus!
What happened?
Yeah, you didn't tell me there was a rock behind me.
Yeah, both sides are.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check. Everything good? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
embarrassed.
What?
If we have time to kill, did you want to talk about the standings? If we have time to kill.
Oh, yeah. Usually,
Yeah.
actually, what I would do is go and take a picture of it. And then, did you got it? Oh, perfect.
Got him.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. If
Yep.
we're time to kill at the end or even at the 5th end
Yep.
break.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got the boys and the girls there?
He's throwing on the wrong
Yep.
side, isn't
Okay.
Yep, yep.
And then who
he?
plays
You're on this side,
tomorrow?
aren't you? I thought we were on inter.
Like, who's our feature game?
Yeah, tomorrow is
We have Warner versus Little.
Okay.
Apparently he's throwing this one.
To remember, bring my book tomorrow. Steep.
Four or five. What you getting at Towers, do you remember?
Oh, yeah?
What's that? Yeah, thanks.
That's a 14 and a half. That was 14 and a
You're
half.
talking about Towers, right? Like, our teams? Yeah, okay.
14 and a half is pretty good.
I don't know.
I'm
Ken
throwing
said
one more
it's versus
time,
the
maybe.
Beauty, so. Oh, I was okay. Oh.
That was almost edge of 12, so it's
And what you get on that one?
with the right weight. That'll be, yeah. It'll be like, it's almost like normal curling ice.
The break, if they go into the break, as much as the break, they can really suck that.
Yeah.
Like once the break
Yeah. Yeah. Really curling there in the middle there.
the short center, literally 6-foot guard, right?
Yeah.
You gotta buy it.
Yeah, easily. That was 14, 15. That was 14, 15, and there's one that you guys swept was 14 and a half. So we're probably looking for around 14 and a half. Split.
That's correct.
Yeah, did they give a warning? Yeah, I didn't hear it. This is it?
Do you mind if I see the player bios for those
Yep.
dudes? Thank you. Is one of them... Okay. Yeah.
Line's good.
Should be good.
Stay close, it's curling.
Yep.
Where is it? Alex in. All you. All you. I don't think you can hurt it. All you. Pin it. Time's good. Yep. You're a little light. You're a little light. Yep. 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 Hard. Hard. Go. 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 Go.
Huh?
Yeah, no, but they still need to measure. They still need to measure. They need to measure all of them.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you guys to pin it. They need to measure all of them. Yeah. Well, placement. So if you're in a tiebreaker, you could get placed.
Three-way tie, they can make the
Women's
Clean,
Curling
clean,
Championship being
clean.
held here
Good.
at the Annandale Golf and
Shot.
Curling Club in Ajax, Ontario.
Nice shots.
My name is Mary Chilvers, and I'm
Go
joined
Norm.
here
Yeah.
tonight
Ending
by
the
the
first one. You're a little tight, but
2018
you need more
Canadian
ice
Mixed
still.
Champion Danielle Inglis. Hello, Danielle.
Thank you, Mary. It's nice to be here, and it's great to be part of the U21 Championships. This event features some of the top young curlers from around the province competing for a chance to represent Ontario at the National U21 event that's being held January 13th through 21st in Shawinigan, Quebec.
Hard to stick.
And on our feature sheet tonight, we have Team Marshall from the Air Curling Club up against Team Steep from the Seaforth Curling Club. And we are just halfway through the first end here.
Both teams have been doing a bit of target practice this end, so we haven't missed much.
No, you're right. There's nothing in the rings.
This was the game plan of both teams. We could hear the teams talking during practice, and they are wanting to get more familiar with the ice and wanting to keep their time up. So this has been both the game plans all along for a nice, open, straightforward end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think more so to reserve some time. Danielle, definitely. They've probably got used to the ice a little bit in the first game, so.
Good weight.
I think some of the teams have been surprised by the straightness of the ice out here, and as we talked about in our earlier broadcast, the Annandale Golf and Curling Club here doesn't have a ton of insulation, doesn't have a heater, and therefore it's difficult to regulate the temperatures. And with it being about -15, a balmy -15 outside, it's quite cool out there, which makes for straighter ice conditions.
Yeah.
That was better.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be cold all week, so I'm not sure they're going to get much curl in the ice, but they're going to try.
Yeah, curling was normal. Way better than the last game.
The speed is very nice, though. It's running about 15 seconds hog to hog.
Great speed that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
And we talk about being straighter, but there is curl there. You just need to be more patient. It's more of a calm curl.
Yes. More like curling from the hog line in.
Clean. Good. Nice shot.
Let's try to roll out a bit.
So both of these teams lost their first games this afternoon, both at 0-1.
Both of them hungry for a win.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Get that first win, the monkey off their back.
Yeah, first win is so important.
Never.
We have a packed house out here at Annandale today.
That's fine.
Many fans.
There are. This is great.
Oh, that almost.
Packed house for sure.
It is also keeping it warmer in behind the glass.
It is.
Is that guarding it?
That's the first straight out miss that we've seen this game, and unfortunately got caught in a spot that we've seen many times before in the last game. Where it just strains out any outward motion, and that rock is not going to come back.
Yeah.
So the Marshall team here with an opportunity to guard their rock over on the side four.
Tight. Make it tight. Yep. Hard, keep it moving. Switch. Hard. Hard. Hard.
So a good scrub by the sweepers, and that's a nice high guard up there. But because the ice is straighter, even though it's a pretty high guard, it's still not the easiest rock to get at.
Yeah, I think it'll do the job. He's going to peel it out.
Light. You're light.
Yeah.
It's perfect though. You want to guard it again? Yeah. Well, if there's no appeal, it's better there.
Yep. Whoa. No.
I can't see the rock.
And they caught a piece, and
Just sliding out wide.
that's what you need to get rid of it.
I do.
We were talking to the ice maker earlier, and
I
they
need a
were
little
talking
more.
about how these rocks have been conditioned recently. So
Ideally,
not
gotta
only
be fire
were
rock.
the bottoms conditioned right
Don't worry
before
about it.
Christmas, so
You're fine.
with to get more curl into
slide
the
that
ice,
wide
but
on
also
without
the
throwing that
striking
into.
bands were done at the beginning of the season. So
Same as
that's
last game,
actually
yeah,
a
or
very,
no?
I didn't
Same
know
as
this
last
fact
game, yeah,
until
or
a few
no?
years ago about you're not just conditioning the bombs, but
adjust.
also the sides. They get hit so
On
often.
Tyler's?
Yeah, your first one.
And so once
wide
you get
side,
them
just a little wide
conditioned and they become sharper, they're
Ideally,
more
guard your
bouncy,
guard
for
rock.
lack of a
Take that
better
extra
word.
second. We're always
Yeah, and I guess that's why, you know, when you watch it on TV and the arena ice,
We're good.
that's why the rocks are so lively. And we noticed that in the first game today, that it was so lively. You could almost you know, hit the whole rock and you're still rolling out. But
So that's why even if you get a little piece, you're still good.
exactly.
That will also make tick shots harder, so it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play.
Yeah, you'd barely be able to touch any of the rock.
Maybe try it, eh? Whoa! Just off nose, eh? You like Norm?
So they were intending this to be a
I
guard,
like
but it
normal
slipped
here,
in
eh?
the ring, so now there's a double opportunity.
Either way is fine. Either way sticks it. Let's go in
Why were
this
we
side
on
this
that?
way.
Why were we on that?
Right on the 7. Just on the other side of 7. A little more. A little more.
Shit. It's straight with a lot of weight here, so maybe I'll.
Just normal.
Perfect. Almost down the heel. It's good line.
What? Just off
I'd be
nose.
off it, I guess.
Either way works,
They
but
would've
we're
got
going to
their
try and roll in
advance, yeah.
towards Oliver.
They're talking about just normal takeout weight for these two, which is really good. Nice, more calmed and
Yeah.
controlled.
Yeah, they don't need to overthrow it on this ice.
Close. Other way. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
You know those shots, they just look so easy because the two
Sorry,
rocks
guys.
are so close
Guy
together,
have
but
the guard like the middle.
they're not that
like
easy.
yellow.
They're not.
Like, does he have it?
call them and make them.
Still have to hit the right
This is
angle.
guard that you ever
Yeah.
had to get him on or not at all, eh? I don't think it was ever going to curl up enough.
And well, it's funny. It's the
Even
ones
double,
that you're trying to
Here?
nose, which are tougher to nose, it seems, and the
Same
one when
line
you're
pretty
trying to
much.
hit just half a rock seems to be a little more elusive.
Like this might
Yeah.
only be for
Sometimes it's always what you're not going for,
We'll have
but
the yellow run in.
but it seems like
Basically the same shot.
seems like the Steep team has a pretty good
Even
handle
tight.
on the ice. By the way, they're already throwing it with that just
if it
normal
doesn't
weight
curl
for
up,
a double
It's only 2
takeout,
and a
and
half.
The
they gave
board
quite
was
tight
there,
ice,
too.
which was good as well.
Same
Right.
shot almost.
It's hard to cover both, eh? If they do, we just drop 4. No, it's early.
Yeah, it's only half in, so you can play the. Yeah. So like outside edge of
Pretty
the
sure
yellow, starting
playing
both of
that
them.
run back just.
They're talking about the placement of this guard and where it needs to be because, and it's
Yeah.
tricky because there's half that red rock exposed behind, so you can't guard both of them fully.
Right.
So they're talking about getting a good chunk of that yellow rock and a good chunk of the red rock because
And if you
you
end
don't
up
want to
blanking,
leave that yellow as a run back.
You just make it straight, right?
8 and in on that. 8 and in. Whoa, you got 8 and in.
This looks like it's going to overcurl.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Picking up something.
Whoa.
It's curling a lot.
whoa, whoa.
I think we try it, eh? It's better than drawing the. I think it's there, right?
And a great weight on this shot, but big overcurl
Big
here.
overcurl, yeah.
We don't often use that word here.
I know.
Nose,
So
eh?
there
You
is
need to hit it
curl.
like,
There's, you know, for sure there's curl in this ice.
There is, and
You
we
hit it
saw
right
that
here,
too, where it can be deceiving
You
because
like
there is
Norm?
curl, and it makes sense
Or
because the
control?
rocks were just
I like
conditioned
normal.
as well, so that if you do happen to
might
start
curl
them,
this way.
they will
go
curl.
here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're
And if we end
safer
up
just
nosing and
to,
we get the blank.
of course, have a nice clean release and tighten the ice.
Exactly.
And trust it.
Trust it for sure, yeah. And it was kind of, we were talking earlier that there was more curl sort of from the 4 foots in. And that's exactly where he had the broom
Oliver,
for that shot.
Be ready to roll the shooter into the ring.
And also when we saw when they went over the center line as well, we saw some,
If anything,
Yeah.
it's
some
not
of
gonna
that
roll.
curl.
Norm.
So
Just
that
gotta-
gives the Steep team
Yeah.
a chance
A
here.
little more.
Play the
If we
run
end
back.
up nosing and blanking, it's not bad. Let's get the deuce, boys. Alex, be ready. Yep. Whoa. Ah.
Yeah, I think he just set that back at the end. Wow, that ran really straight.
Yeah, this is not forgiving ice,
No,
is it, Mary?
it's not.
So it could have been a deuce, but that is a steal of 1 for the Marshall team. So they kicked off the scoring 1-0 over Team Steep. And Team Steep will have the hammer going into the second end.
Make sure it's tight, though.
I mean, this game is all about taking your opportunities. You know that you're going to have misses.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Especially, like say,
This is
the
narrow there, I
younger
just messed
ranks,
around
even
with
more so than some of the older teams.
I
So,
would stroke
Right.
her a little bit. I think I rolled
not that
over
you
there.
call any
It's only
game
gonna
to
one
expect
though.
that,
We're
but
right there.
you know you need to
Probably
capitalize
one
when
corner
those
if this
opportunities
isn't a
come.
center guard.
Yeah, that,
Let's go.
you know, that's the key is when your opponent misses a shot, you really got to bear down and try to make the shot
Line's
after the
good.
miss. They call that the SAM, don't they?
Yes.
Shot after a miss?
Yes.
Line's real good. That's it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good. What did you say was the last one? Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's my last one, but
You see the teams gathering up for a team meeting in between ends, and that's so crucial. The communication component and all being on the same page. So
Add him in.
few quick
Add 'em if
things
you
for
can,
how
yep.
you might play the
Yep.
end, your game strategy, your end strategy, and then break back to the game.
Hard line.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Whoa. Goodbye. Okay. Probably should have brought it to the back 8.
So throwing lead stones for the Marshall team is Xander Elms. He is a 3-time junior provincial participant, this being 3rd time. And one of his proudest moments in curling is listed as beating his skipper to make the provincials back in 2015, his first provincials.
top four.
He's a geography and environmental management
Line's closed.
studies at the University of Waterloo.
Here.
Wow, he's a smart guy.
Aiden then, yep. Aiden. Hard, Aiden. Hard.
And this is a good looking shot in here.
Okay, good.
Saw a slight
no,
overcurl there, but
tap
that's
in the
around
back,
that
it's not
center
bad.
line that we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, Mary.
Yeah, there's some
Same way.
great movement coming into the center line. Throwing lead for the Steep team is Alex Vincent from the Seaforth Curling Club.
Line's okay. Wait only. Adams in. Hard. 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 Go, go, go. Hard. 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 Every inch. Go. Hard. Keep going. Keep going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's fine.
That is a really good shot making.
Is this slower on this end?
So now we have birthday boy number 1 up to bat here. The second for Team Marshall, Aiden Poole. Today is his birthday, so happy birthday, Aiden. He's quite an accomplished curler, been to several junior provincials as well as mixed provincials, OFSA and the Gore.
Room. Back 8.
So bringing a wealth of experiences.
Tyler if you have to. No bump. No bump though. Okay, whoa, 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 no. Sit. Good. Nice shot.
How's that or that? We're never going to be able to get. We can do this.
So with this draw in there, they're going for the freeze. It didn't quite curl as much as they wanted, but still sitting 2 on the button here. So the Steep team looking to play a tap back on their rock in the top 8,
Should curl.
top 12.
And this is our second birthday boy. Coincidentally, we have the 2 seconds on this sheet of ice, both with birthdays today.
Whoa.
Oliver Campbell. So happy birthday to him as well.
someone is going to come away with a birthday win.
Yeah,
And
Well,
for the sake of both teams, hope it's just a good game.
exactly.
We're cheering
This
good
way.
shots back here.
Yeah.
So that tap back run attempt under curl, they expected it to curl more. That's what we had heard the discussion, but not as much curl. So now the Marshall team is going to suck another one around.
Room now! Room! Room! Lots of room! Xander in! Hard! Barry Pease, hard! Go, 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 go! Till it stops, go, go! Okay, that's good. That's pretty good. Good
Great
speed.
brushing there, and you can see that all of the
Same
movement pretty
thing.
much happened in the last 6 feet.
Right.
You like Norm?
Lower in the last game.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Still,
Normal.
still.
Team Steep with the hammer. They want to clean things up here at the front. They're in a little bit of trouble right now.
They don't have a path to get shot rock, so pretty crucial shot here.
It is.
Yep! Yes! Hard! 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 Hard!
So they
That's okay.
not quite a cleanup. That actually was junking it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Here's fine!
Marshall team is
Okay,
tough. They might be tempting to tuck one in and around, which would still be a good shot. But with the ice not always having that such a hard finish, it's tough. So you could see them call for the rock out front
Yeah.
instead.
Top four! Heavy, 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 whoa. Whoa. Room now! Okay, wait only! Switch! Switch! Hard!
See, it's looking like this rock is coming in well, so they're calling
got
for
it, Barry,
it right
please.
around
Go, go,
behind,
go, go, go,
trying to
go,
get a
go,
piece
go,
buried.
go, go, go. Okay, that's pretty good. A little wide.
They did manage to tuck a piece, but it is mostly exposed.
Norm or Charles?
So they can still get
Do you have it all?
at least 2, if not 3 of the rocks out of there,
Yeah.
out of the 4 foot.
Throwing third for the Steep team is Adam Vincent.
Yes! Whoa! Whoa! Hard! Yep, yep, yep! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Roll it out, roll it out. Hard, hard, hard.
So they were attempting to hit the red one in the house, but took the guard instead. Still not a bad plan B. Getting rid
Yeah.
of some of the rocks out front.
I think that guard was giving them a lot of problems. I don't mind seeing that one go away.
Would have perhaps tried to do that a couple rocks earlier.
Exactly.
Split the
And
center!
throwing third rocks for the Marshall team is Tyler Marshall. And this is his 4th provincial in a row. He's attending Niagara College and first year in Community and Justice Services.
If we can make one double, there's 3 yellows. Like if we can make a control rate double to this back one, or even that one, even just try to get something on.
Halfway!
Like, even a yellow just off nose.
Lots of
That
room!
would be really nice. Yeah.
Xander's gonna have to go on this.
We need to get rid of one of these.
Xander,
one of these
go!
shots.
Till it stops! Hard! Alright, Xander, you gotta touch center. Hard! Hard, 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 hard. Go, go, go! Go, 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 go. Okay.
So they did get a guard up there, but now that yellow rock is
You can even.
exposed.
Board's okay too. Or do you like
Ice
control?
tight on that.
But even still here,
Go
Mary, even if
control.
they make a play on
Control,
that
control
one,
now.
they're still not going to be, they're still a couple shots away from getting the ones that are on the 4 foot and the button.
Exactly.
Undercurled a bit. Just undercurled a bit.
He's just going to attempt to hit his yellow one onto the top red one. Hopefully stay in the ring somewhere.
No. Whoa.
We have twin brothers on this steep
Alex,
team.
hard, hard,
Adam and Alex, the third and the lead.
Hard! Goodbye.
Oh, there's a pretty good shot.
That was pretty. That was nice that they were able to catch the ones.
Yeah.
That's huge, and even the way they set up with their rock
behind T if you
the
do
side. Now
Yeah.
you're seeing the Marshall team having to deal with it
Yeah.
because there's a nice, juicy-looking hin roll there.
Yes.
Much better, buddy.
Yeah, it was important to get those red ones
Even
off
on
the
here,
button.
right?
Spread them out a bit.
You're giving us options.
Here's ideal.
And really, they gave themselves a chance with that nice low weight that they threw.
Exactly. Yeah.
Double at least. Good. You're good.
So the skip of the team,
Just
Nathan
bite the
Marshall,
bar. 3.
said
Yeah.
this is his third junior men's provincial appearance, and also
Yeah, we'll be
been
we'll
in
be
3
behind you.
mixed provincial appearances as well. Not to mention the 2010 Timbit Elementary Provincial Curling Champion.
Oh, Timbit.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Same as last time.
That's a wonderful introduction for curlers into this sport.
Yes, it is.
So like a tradition. How many years now? Well over 30.
Really, that long.
I thought I had lots. Take a look.
That looks really heavy.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh man.
Yep.
So they were calling for the draw in there, but wide and heavy, a deadly combination on this ice.
Yeah.
You can see at the end they were trying to call the audible to get their rock to bounce off of the yellow, but it's still there, and now the steep team has a way in.
I have tons of backing, man. I can just.
Dang it.
So now we have the same shot coming right up from the steep team. They are trying to come in around
best chance to
and
get to
freeze
is
onto that
freezing.
rock that's on the biting the back button.
There's not enough room. I would have to throw like a hack. What's the draw time here? Okay, we can't be, light's brutal here, so I'm not going to be light. But let's make it. Okay.
Yeah, light would not be good here. We have lots of backing.
Tricky shot. Oh, but seems like he
Close.
turned that one in a bit.
Oliver! Whoa!
Line's good. No. Yeah, sweet song, bud. Yeah.
Whoa!
Not bad, actually.
That ended up working out for them.
I feel the same way.
Playing off
Not
of the
bad.
red one, they actually
Or
probably
just play the
wanted to hit a
freeze
little
flat.
bit more of it so that they got a flatter roll.
Play the freeze, I think, actually.
But a freeze tap
Pretty
here,
spot.
and Team Marshall could be
These are
sitting
my shots are relevant. They have that for
pretty
free.
nice after seeing
Pretty
a
heavy,
couple.
eh?
Nah, actually, no, they wouldn't. They
I
have,
don't know
The-
if Marshall can get past
play
that
this
top yellow.
play the freeze. If it's yeah.
See how
Where
much-
was I? Here.
See how much they
Let's go the same ice because I was heavy.
get, how much movement they do end up getting in there.
Yeah.
You saw a couple rocks finish, but we'll
Yeah, with the ice they're taking, they're just throwing like a draw
Freeze.
weight shot, eh?
yeah,
Freeze.
freeze tap.
Yeah.
Freeze it, Lions go, we'll tap it back.
And you heard it there.
Did you get my last one? What did you get on my last
I don't
one?
think you ever miss this light, though. That's pretty.
What did you get on my last one? Okay, because that was just back line. So,
This fast a bit faster than the others.
Yeah.
Playing in.
okay.
Well, and something else important to note here, Mary, is that he's a left-handed thrower.
Yes.
So he can see even less of that rock than if he was throwing from the right-handed hack.
That's right. And this is his out turn, which tend to not curl quite as much as the in turn. He's got really nice weight here.
Beautiful weight.
Yeah.
Just
Really tough shot because it just didn't quite
Make
finish
sure
for him.
we need to butter that, eh?
very much.
We do not want to touch anywhere over here, eh? Like, yeah, we just need to.
Yeah.
Lots of tricky shots
What did I
this
have
end.
before?
It's
Like
very, both have
Might
been
be a
very
little lighter
line
this
and
time,
weight
eh?
sensitive
About a
in
foot?
order to make them. And indeed, this is another one here, as you heard the mention. Can't touch that rock on the outside.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could give up a steal. So you need
Yeah.
to make sure it gets some curl. But
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
shot.
it's not an easy shot here.
Just need to get to the
He's
inside
got to
of
just
that
get
red
by
one.
that top yellow
Maybe a
one.
little more.
Tap
Oh,
the
no,
red
no, no,
one
no.
out.
A foot. We need like a foot
interested
lighter
to
than
see
my
if he
last
has
one,
the
eh?
same release as he did on his first. Because from
Mhm.
back
Not
here, it looked like
unless
he
I
had
hit-
turned it in, and
Yes.
that was
Like
the
the red
movement.
on
But
this side.
whether or not that was
So
intentional
what do you guys
or
like for
not.
like a little less, right?
This is Sam Steep, the skip of this team.
Okay. Just get it by that yellow.
He's curled with the twins, Alex and Adam, for 12 years. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's a long time.
And especially at this age, too.
Yes, it
definitely
is.
less.
They started
All
young.
you. Lots of lines so far. Whoa, never! Never! Alex!
No, I don't think that's going to come in enough for them. Really delicate shot.
Alex! Alex!
Oh. Oh, he got it.
He got
2
it.
points.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the end.
Yeah, right at the end it curled just enough. He had a just perfect weight to make that shot.
So Team Steep now leading 2-1 over the Marshall team after end 2. So that will be Team Marshall with the hammer going into the end number 3.
Yeah.
I don't mind tight, but if you end up going in, it's okay.
And an update for everyone across the board. We have 7 other sheets going on out here. So we have Team Fayez leading Team Hall 1-0.
Yeah.
We have Team Steel picking up a deuce in the first end against Team Warner.
My first
Team
one.
Wilsey
That's what killed us.
picked up their deuce against Team Richard.
Line's good, just
Team
three.
Roson 1-0
Three.
over Team Kimeli.
Gotta be three.
It was a blank end
Gotta be
in the
three.
first for Team Liang and Team Han.
Hard!
1-0 for Team
Hard!
Murphy over Team
Hard!
Little after the first.
Hard! Every inch.
Marshall
Go, go, go.
is
Hard, 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 hard,
leading
hard, hard. Go,
Steep.
go, go,
Now
go,
we know
go.
in our future game 2-1.
Good.
And,
2-8?
or sorry, Steep is leading Marshall 2-1. And Wallingford
To curl. Okay.
C is now 2-0 over Team Ald after the second end.
No, you were never gonna touch that, I don't think. No, I knew we had the weight. Yeah. We don't need to be too
Some
aggressive
great
on
shot
all this,
making that last
That
end.
was really incredible shot making. So impressive. All the soft shots, you know.
Yep. It shows that second game they're really getting more comfortable with the ice,
Yeah.
the line, the weight. So you're seeing those type of shots earlier.
Lots of room.
Aiden if you can.
Good.
Shot.
If you end up tapping, it's okay.
Both these teams really strong competitors on the OJCT circuit. That's the Ontario Junior Curling Tour circuit. So Team Marshall is ranked number 4 and Team Steep is number 9.
Adam in, Adam. Hard line. Hard. Hard line. Line's good. Yep, hard, hard, you light, hard. 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 Go, go, go. Lock it on, Adam. Lock it on. Yep, yep, yep. It's okay if you tap it. Yes, hard line. Hard line. Hard, 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 hard. Good.
Another great shot. I think we're going to see, up until the 10th end, a lot of rocks and play, Danielle.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
Just what we like to see for
It
the TV game.
Yeah.
Again, the confidence and is really showing for both the
Go
teams here.
forward.
It is.
Something else that comes into play is
Through.
and helps makes a lot of shots is the sweeping.
Oh, absolutely.
The strength of these players and the knowledge and not line calling, the weight judgment, it all comes into it.
Yeah. The technique as well.
Nice.
Like, that's superb shot making. It really is.
Beautiful freeze.
Yeah.
Stab it back a bit.
No, you make it easy.
Hey, back
They're making
line.
it easy, look easy out here.
They are, absolutely.
But a freeze,
You end up nicking the guard, it's not bad.
especially on some ice that's straight with rocks that are very active, is tough.
Yeah. It's so impressive.
Though it does help. There's nice consistent speed to this ice. So
There is, yes.
Close, Adam. Yep, whoa. Wait only. Wait only. Oh, it's really heavy.
One's a little heavy.
It's more in back line. I was like, half.
saw how important it was for the Red Rocks, the setup there, that they had those angles, and now you can see how those came into play.
Yes.
A little heavy, a little wide, and all of a sudden they're sitting pretty nicely. So this started out in
Looks heavier than
the
that.
8 foot, so it's
Yep.
running for a while.
You gotta roll the shoe as far as you can. Go, 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 go.
This is really
Okay.
where the team probably needed to have a longer chat about tolerance,
It's not bad.
where they wanted to have that rock.
If you end up getting this, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they called that.
Norm.
I mean, it's not bad because they do
Right on
have
the
hammer,
nose.
and they're
Right on the
kind of
nose.
splitting the rocks around a bit. It's going to force Steep to play a run back here.
Whoa, yep. Yes. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Real nice.
Beautiful
Oh
shot.
my goodness. After the two Reds stuck around at the back.
They did, but the nice thing is they're now, for the Steep team, is that they're now out of the 4 foot area.
Yeah.
Control.
You can see Marshall, they're hitting this rock to sit 3. I believe he indicated a roll.
Close. Whoa. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Anything? Go, 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 go.
Try.
And they did get a roll.
On the
They were
nose.
hoping to roll right in behind the guard, or at least partially buried behind the guard, so this double wouldn't be there, but
Yeah.
here it is.
isn't bad.
And
Just right on the nose, but this isn't bad. Norm.
tough to see the angles from here, but they may have to be careful of that jam on the back yellow as well
Right.
when they play this double.
Yeah.
Whoa. Close. Close. Alex, hard, Alex. Hard.
That is a jam at the back. Again, tough sometimes with this
Wide.
ice when you up your weight at all, and then if you have any outward motion,
Norm.
Yeah, it really runs.
runs.
So I think here, Danielle, he'll want to just hit and stick, I would think.
Say so to keep the rocks separated.
Yeah, sit 3.
Yep.
Whoa.
they're finding some curl in this ice today.
They are.
They got the roll that's partially buried, but the issue with this is that they rolled in behind the tee line. So now it's,
Be able to do that, that's not bad.
if they could ever freeze one right in there, or as you can see indicating even top 4, there's a good chance that those rocks would be jams.
Yeah.
So
Play control down.
Kind of takes away the 3 points that they could have been sitting with hammer.
So after that discussion, they decide to hit the rock that was just thrown, that's now on the center line, and roll in front of the other one. Also works as an option if the roll is made perfectly, though, Mary, I would argue that this is actually quite a tough shot to make perfectly.
Yeah.
Folks. Yep. Hard. My bad.
Yeah, they didn't quite call the sweep on that one soon enough.
It can be tricky here because,
Relay control.
I mean, we've been talking about this all game, how it curls in the 4-foot lines, and it's tough between calling the sweep early and holding it out there versus catching it at the right time and making the shot. This opens the door for Team Marshall to make a hit and sit 3 again.
Yes. Hard.
Wow, that's really curling. Oh dear.
Hard.
Ooh.
Okay.
Holy. It's tough. Do you ever do this?
There's definitely a spot down there, eh? Or they're discussing the rock maybe. Because that he threw that well, and he seemed to be plenty out to the broom, and then.
Though we did just see the rock thrown by Team Steep as well. It carved right in. It was hanging out there, and I didn't think it was coming back, to be honest. It was at halfway down the ice, and
I think we have to.
so it's true. There could be a question of the rock for sure, but
As soon as we have granite,
I
sweep.
would agree what you started to say, that that spot curls, and that can be hard to believe when there's been a lot of spots on the ice that are so straight once you get into the 8-foot.
Right.
The draw is so precise. I think we got to play this. A little more.
The other end of your set's so nice and so
So I think Steep is just going to hit this red rock.
Talked about that draw
Gotta
being
roll about
tougher,
half a
so
foot
this
towards
is
Alex.
the easier shot to sit to. They know it will result in most likely a double being available, but
Right.
and that's what you have to think of. It's a really smart reasoning.
It is.
Make the shot that's easier for you.
Yeah, and it's too risky to play that draw with 2 red rocks in the house.
Whoa. Whoa.
And that rock ran on them, so that's a hidden roll out, and now Marshall has a chance
Easy
for
freeze,
redemption.
though, that's
Yeah.
Want to try that?
What?
Okay. Control.
Going to use the good thing about their last rock, even though they hit the guard, they
Rolling halfway,
didn't remove
stop.
it fully out play, and it's now in a corner guard position.
Right.
So they, as you can see, they're now using that. They're trying to play the hidden roll right in behind the corner.
We're going to try roll under.
They know if we play the hit roll, and if
And even though they'll still be behind the tee line, they'll force the Steep team into a tough freeze
Yes.
in a spot they haven't played
Hey,
yet.
if you
Right.
On this side, we can
Yeah.
jam on the right too.
Yeah, if they got this roll perfectly, they are set up for a 3-under.
Control.
probably just too much ice in.
Yeah.
Sucks, eh?
And wow, look at this rock go.
As far as it goes, Adam. As far as it goes. As far as it goes. All the way out, Adam. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out. All the way out.
Wow. Surprising.
Just obviously this. But if we go back to it,
Very,
it's
and
not
you're
bad.
hearing some frustration from the teams as well.
Yeah.
So what's important is, of course, everybody gets frustrated
kind
when
of a guess.
they miss a shot, but got to make sure you're learning something from it as well.
Exactly.
Being honest about what you did wrong, being honest about what you did right.
So either full 8 buried or right to the back one. That's fully buried, eh? Yeah. Okay. So what are you, the same weight as my last one? We didn't tap those much, did we? On my last draw. What was that then? A 90? 90? If you need the back one, tell Adam. Hard, Oliver. Hard line. Line's good, all you.
So the steep team is just going to try to play a draw around this corner guard.
Alex. Hard. 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 Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Hard. Hard.
Right over Barry from my hack, eh?
Really nice shot there.
Pretty buried.
I think that will force the Marshall team into having to take a point.
It's probably over Barry from my hack, eh?
So Marshall will have to draw the 4-foot here for his point.
Yeah, she faster, eh?
Maybe like half an inch the other way. Yeah. Be ready to sweep this. I don't think he's thrown this before. He's thrown draws, obviously. But
Line's fine.
It's all the sweepers. Just need a piece of the 4-foot for the single.
Looks a little heavy.
this looks heavy. No, it's good, Adam. It's good.
4 foot.
And
Good
a
force,
beautiful
boys.
shot into the 4-foot.
Good force.
Wow,
So-
really nice.
So that means we're all tied up here
Tied
after
here, that's pretty good,
N3.
eh?
So the score is 2-all.
Even ends.
And it will be Team Steep with the hammer
Deuce would be
going
nice
into
here.
N number 4.
Deuce would be nice here. Keep setting up ends, guys.
And an update for the games going on.
We're
On the
doing
other
our-
sheets,
yeah.
we have
Keep-
Team Hall leading
our
Team
draws are good.
Fayez 2-1 after N2.
Keep the gas
Team
on the
Warner
pedal.
stole a point in N3, so they now tied it up 2-all with Team Steel. We've seen 2 blanked ends since the first score, so it's Team Wilsey leading Team Richard. That's 2-0. Team Camelli leading Team Roson 2-1. We had Team
Aiden,
Leung
yep.
popped a 3-ender in
Hold it
the
off,
second
hold it
end,
off.
so they lead
That's really
Team
cool. Hold it
Han
off.
3-1. Team Murphy and Team Will tied 1-all after end number
Good.
2. And Team Wallingford continues to lead Team All 2-0.
Pretty
I
high.
get more ice on my heads. Yeah. And less on my out turn. Yeah. Yeah. Touching center. No, it's fine. Yeah, just less a little more ice. Yeah.
Oliver's in. Oliver's in.
Yeah. I need just my intern.
Oliver, Oliver, Oliver. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. You got to be in. You got to be in.
Jeez. Just stay close.
So the rock did go in the house, putt over curled, and it is almost fully exposed on the other side.
Board. Get.
Well,
We'll just speed up a little bit. We don't want to rush ourselves here. Yeah.
Where's the weight? Whoa. Tyler. Tyler, go. All right, go, go, go. Nice shot, Xander.
See a nice hit and roll away.
Right on the nose. Control.
And I imagine that suits Team Steep just fine, keeping the play away from the center.
Exactly. At the hammer, they want to play, keep the play out to the wings.
Close. No. Never.
And they managed to get a piece. Now Team Marshall will be able to come around their very high center guard, which means they'll want to keep it even higher in the house.
Right.
That's so that it's not as easy to come around and hit.
They could even opt to put a tighter guard up there, Danielle.
They could.
Fight the core.
If they're really going for it,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Switch. Switch. Yep. Go, Xander, go. Hard, 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 hard.
I mean, that's one of those cases where the rock was running wide. They were trying to put it in, but that second option that you talked about, Mary, dropping it as a guard,
Right.
would be great too. Now with this, they're half in the house. This allows the Steep team to be able to play a hit and roll into
To the rings.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Real nice.
Control.
And now, of course, the Marshall team's playing on that rock. And I mean, if they had left it short there earlier, then we would probably seen the Marshall team either looking at some sort, or Steep team would have been looking at some sort of appeal on the rock at the top, or even a come around. So, but
Right.
now we're playing with this rock that's just biting the top
Yes.
12.
Never. Xander.
Even a nose hit here for the red team is a good shot.
Hard, Xander, hard.
Don't think it's going to happen, though. Very straight out there.
Good. Good center guard.
You guys like the peel?
Are you in the time?
So with this peel guard, what they're saying with this is that they're going for a blank end,
Right.
Yeah.
basically. So if they had tried to come around, that would still bring the two into play, but no rocks in play generally equals a blank end, short of any serve miss.
Yep. Yep. Clean. Nice. I think a nice clean end would be refreshing.
And the team seemed pretty
got
happy
this,
with
I'm
clean end as well. Something refreshing. They have had a couple ends of pretty intense shot making that they've had to be pretty precise with.
Yeah,
so
they have.
this not only helps mentally give them a break, but also it helps with their time too.
Yeah. I'm surprised Marshall called this one in the house, though. I thought he'd continue to put up a guard. I mean, I know the chances of the peels being missed are pretty slim, but
Center guard.
it ended up to be a guard anyway.
I agree
Like
with
the
you, though,
peel
Mary.
still?
It's times like those when it seems like both teams are on the same page that, oh, well, do we just want to push all the rocks down and get it over with?
Exactly.
Well, at this level where they're all making the shots generally that are straightforward
Yeah.
kills and hits. Very rare to see a missed shot.
Yes!
Maybe not.
actually have a nose hit here. I'm
Glad we didn't
surprised.
push them all down.
There you go.
Oh,
And I mean, now this puts Marshall in a potential steal position because that rock is pretty close to the center.
Yeah, that's a good guard for the Marshall team.
Top 4! How heavy is it? Aiden close! Room!
I think it's interesting that they this turn at it.
Bud, to you, no. No.
We've seen that the other turn has quite a bit of curl, and
yeah.
well, also if you don't have hammer, junking up the center isn't bad. So if they
Right.
have to come up short, coming up short in the center as opposed to on the outside of the rings would
Right.
be better. So,
Yeah.
But if they felt they knew this turn better, go with the turn that you know.
Right. It's a good point, though, you make, Danielle. I think there was a little more curl coming the other way as well.
not going to make the run. He made a shot.
So we have an official timeout happening on our feature sheet.
Maybe he wants us to come this way.
So
I
we'll
don't
wait
think
for the
the run's
coaches
the
to get
shot.
out there, and we'll listen to
I
what
honestly don't
they
think the rock's the shot. If we miss it, we're getting
have to
four.
say.
Yeah, I know, but if we don't, we're going to get forced either way. But that means freeze is the only time, only shot we're going to get for 2. You guys like the runner of the peel better? We have our, yeah, I feel like he is too. There's no way they've been 3 minutes faster than us. So be ready in the hack okay? I know, but same with Oliver. We just got to be a little faster.
We were miles ahead last week.
I just don't get how they can be 3 minutes ahead. They haven't been that much faster.
We went to the washroom and back.
It's okay. We don't need to worry about it. Holy crap. An hour later. They need to get another exit. It's poorly laid out. Just gotta let them through.
Well, it's cold out here because I can see your breath most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we think?
Certainly after what they do. They don't really follow them down.
Yeah, if they freeze, we kind of have to come and,
That's who they're calling, so it'll probably come the other way at it.
or if they roll open at all, we probably hit, right?
So this, you think what's causing this big ice, the ice is very weight sensitive.
Yeah.
So if you really gotta notch that,
I'd get more ice, that's not mine.
you can't be hanging very close.
I think we're setting up better than they are. We're outplaying them, I think.
Let's not forget starts with a J.
Yeah.
Jay.
Super J. I'll see you with the snack.
But
Okay. Let's do it.
play your game.
All right, come on, boys.
Go hard.
Okay.
Are we throwing that?
You guys aren't playing 3 minutes faster than us, are you? That doesn't seem like.
Okay, so timeout is over, and I'm actually, Danielle, a little maybe surprised that they called a timeout here.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was too. At first, actually, I had said official timeout because you'd heard the players talking about their time clocks, and
Okay.
Team Steep didn't think that they were playing 3 minutes slower. They have 3 minutes less on the clock than the Marshall team, but
Right.
I was too. It seemed I would say a little bit more straightforward.
Right. There's only 2 rocks in play. They
You
had
play.
all those rocks in play in those other ends, and they knew exactly what to do.
2 rocks in play.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
It's too simple for them.
Oliver. Yep.
Same weight, kind of.
Great shot here,
Or even
though.
just
I think they were looking just to freeze to that rock as opposed to moving it, because now Marshall has the same
hack?
kind of shot on this, and in fact, if they play
They
the
might
right
just come
weight
around
on this, they can sit 2. Force the Steep team to single.
I'll try hack. You might be able to get to here. I'll throw hack. Yeah. Well, okay, don't jam it, right? Here, more. 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 Back line, Ty. You need more.
All right, so we heard it. That's a backline weight. Tap and roll.
Yeah, just less than half.
Yeah, backline to hack, I think is what they're calling. They would really like to
Or just your
first
sign
get
over
rid
the
of this
fire,
yellow
right?
rock, and secondly, stick around in the rings.
You're probably back line. But perfect line, eh? You missed since you were waiting. He has to roll out, I think, right? Like not roll out, but roll out.
Xander! Hard! Hard!
So they managed to tap it back to sit shot rock, but they did not push it far enough to sit 2.
We're saying 2 now.
So the Steep team does have hammer here, and they were looking at hitting the rock at the back to sit 2.
Probably bored, eh?
Though they have some other options available to them, like the guard coming around the guard that's up there. If they could do that, you're always sitting better when you're staying in the front of the house as opposed to the back of the house.
Right.
And if they,
I know that would be my first inclination. And how about you, Mary?
Yeah, I think the same. Well, if they, sorry, is red shot rock?
heavy draw.
Red is shot,
Right.
but if they could make a come around specifically maybe around the center line and sit in behind, they may have that shot later. And I mean, it's not fully open either, so it's not a guaranteed shot.
Yeah. And the fact that it's behind the tee line as well, it's going to give Marshall an out.
Yeah. So what do you guys like, 80?
A touchy spot here with the up weight hanging.
Go, Ty. Oliver! Go, Ty. Hard, Ty. Hard, hard, hard.
Finish that.
About
Like drawing
almost
it.
hack weight, and they only tap the rock over to him behind the guard. And I mean, another danger, we talked about this, the shots they're playing, even though they're playing to sit 2, it's a tough shot.
Yeah.
Fucking hit, make him draw against 3.
What? You got to call over on there. Just
Make him draw against 3!
I know.
He's been throwing those draws at backing. Like, if you ever...
I know. That's why we need to speed it up. We're taking too long and a half.
Yeah. I'll have to draw. Or you might just hit that, though. What do you guys like?
If we do that, all we have to do is run 8, right?
Yeah.
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 I like
You like the draw?
because even if you're there or you're there, it's a hard double for 2.
It just said that if I ever leave something for 2.
We gotta be behind the guard, touching 8 foot. Other than that, doesn't matter.
Here, you can be basically anywhere. As long as we start.
Yeah.
Just make his draw harder.
I I like sitting 3 though, but yeah, more, a little more, Ty.
He was convinced on that
It
shot.
was just wanting to sit through, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you're
agree.
not
not gonna
sitting
miss
3
that.
in a steal position,
Right.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was my
and like
last
I said,
one in
you're-
hack?
It's very rare that a skip is going to make
I was trying
miss
to throw
a
it
draw
back.
to the 8-foot, especially with backing.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So this is the right call, I think.
absolutely.
Lots more, yeah. Try to bite the 4. Aiden! Room! Switch!
Lost
Whoa,
a
guys!
stopwatch on that sweep.
Did he?
He did.
Yeah.
So he had a stopwatch attached to the broom that came off while they were sweeping. That's the second time we've seen it come off, actually. It came
Shit.
off while he was throwing.
It did.
One
Oh, I did
time.
not see that.
So
The
we-
same guy.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming there's only one with Velcro
quite
that
perfect
doesn't
in my-
work
out
on
of
the
my
team
hand.
with a stopwatch.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, Santa needed
Mine
to
was
bring
so
some
good.
stopwatches for
Yeah.
Christmas. But fortunately, with that sweep, they actually need to let that curl up and come shorter because now they're back 8. So Team Steep with a chance to get out of this end here with a single point.
We would have stole. They didn't see that.
Line's close. Wait only. Oliver in.
And the rock stops in time. So Team Steep throwing the yellow rocks, picking up a single in end 4. They now lead
That's
Team
all right.
Marshall 3-2 after 4
Alex,
ends.
we have 30
So
seconds.
it will be
Time.
Team
Stay
Marshall with
close
the
to
hammer
us.
heading into the
Line
5th.
buys, we need a bend. It's okay.
And to look across our sheets, over on sheet 1, we have Team Hall leading Team Fayez 3-1. Sheet 2, Team Steel picking up a big 3-under in end 4 to lead 5-2 over Team Warner. Team Wilsey is leading 2-1 over Team Richard.
Adam in, just a tight 3.
Team Kemal is leading
Line's good.
5-1 over Team Roson after
Oliver's
a
in,
big
Oliver's
steal
in,
of 3 in the
Oliver's
4th end.
Hard.
Team Leung still with a
Hard.
3-1 lead over Team
Hard.
Hong.
You gotta be tight, guys. Go hard. Every
And
inch, every inch. Go,
1
go.
all still,
Go,
Team
go,
Murphy,
go,
Team
go.
Little.
Hard, hard.
And our final sheet, we have
Judge, guys.
Team Wallingford still maintaining a lead, 2-1 over Team Ald.
Yeah, I know. I just line-wise, I think you could have easily bent that in a little more, but we did. It works, obviously. We got the point. Probably a little too aggressive there on my first one. So
Line tight!
I needed to throw like
Aiden!
3 feet lighter there. It would have been perfect.
So some of the decisions we saw on that last ender,
Tyler! Tyler!
I want to say typical of a younger team who's still learning and developing, and
Hard!
so often you're told, or your thought
Okay.
process is, well, it's
He has the
better to
right
sit
eye on
quite
that.
a few rocks
Mhm.
rather than get one place nicely.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
But in the end, they came to the right conclusion.
they did. Yeah.
got some guards.
I mean, I see the point the Marshall team talking about. I want them to have to draw
Line's
against
okay.
3 because, you know, as a skip, you know,
Line's
sometimes that can get in your
Adam's in.
head a little bit, even
Hard.
though
Hard line.
those rocks were all
Hard
behind the tee
line.
line. You really didn't. It shouldn't have been a very difficult shot, but
Hard, guys, dig.
sometimes you
Hard.
put that in a skip's mind,
Hard.
and
Go,
you
go,
never
go,
know.
Go, go, go,
So
go,
I do
go,
see
go.
the thought process there.
For sure.
Good throw, Alex. Take your time, okay?
There's been a lot of talk past couple ends about their time here. So the time clock's Team Steep is at 20 minutes, 13 seconds, and Team Marshall is just under 22 minutes. So both teams are still fairly decent on time right now. They're panicking a little, but really they're pretty close. I mean, you can play and end on thinking time pretty quickly if you're ready, you're in the hack and ready to throw by the time the skip is calling a shot.
Right. Well, are these 38 minutes or 40 that they're getting per team?
38.
38.
All right, guys,
38.
keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Hard, 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 hard.
So just less than 4 minutes to play an end is what you're kind of given, right? Yeah.
I mean, if you really hustle, you can play an end
It's not bad.
in a minute and a half.
Really?
Done it a couple times.
Oh, that's good.
Sometimes playing a fast end is actually good because if you start playing slow, sometimes you get stuck in that clunky thinking.
Oh,
I mean,
You
I'm
do.
the first one to raise my hand and say I've done that.
Yes!
Yeah.
Hard! Hard! Good.
And sometimes when your opposition is playing slow, that can hurt you. You start to get in a bit of a lull. You get a little frustrated.
Look at this way.
Get out of the groove.
Absolutely, and sometimes that results in you playing slower, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you practically ground to a halt, and you can have naps between rocks. But I mean, that's the point of being on the clock here at these provincial events. So, so that you keep up that pace of play, and also it helps the event run smoother when you know that games are going to run on time.
Right.
They have volunteer timers here who for every single draw. So they have quite a big group of volunteers for this provincial championship. So I've got to say kudos to all the volunteers who are coming out and helping.
Yeah, for sure. I've never been a timer. I'm not sure I would like the pressure of doing that job.
Well, because teams can get quite adamant with their timing.
They can.
This is nice. If you end up making that, it's okay. Play control.
Well, the yellow team has a lot of nice guards out in front of that button area. You can get a roll here.
Yep, yes! Hard! 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 Whoa! Adam! Hard, hard, hard! That's good.
A little bit of an oversweep in that case, but I think they picked up right out of the hand, so it appears that they saw a bit of a turn in.
Yeah.
But still a pretty good shot getting part buried, and there is that red rock behind there. They have to be careful of the jam.
Control.
Yeah, it's definitely jammable there. You would like to hit half of this rock and roll to the wing. Or slightly cross it and get the inside flop if you can.
Close. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Right. Go. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Watch it.
Yeah, it's so hard to stick around there.
Very with how the striking bands react.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is real nice. If you come back and tap it,
I mean,
it's
he hit it
okay.
where he needed to hit it without jamming it at the back one, and he still rolls out. So.
Great opportunity for the Steep team now to get this rock in a great place in the top 4 foot.
Oliver's close. Line's good.
And that would put them in a solid steel position, so this is a very important rock.
Alex is in. Where are we? The back one?
Yeah, it's a little deep, I think.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, don't touch it. It's good. Real nice.
These teams seem to be hitting tolerance quite a bit when there's been a draw involved. So what we mean by that is the weight tolerance, where it's okay for them to be. So in this case, even though they're calling top 4 foot,
Where is it?
back 4 frozen to it is fine too. So,
Xandrin!
but it takes those teams who can really nail
Wait,
that
Oli!
shot
Wait,
that's going to
Oli!
make a difference. Like if they nailed that shot right there, they'd be in a great steal situation.
Wait,
Right.
Oli!
And now they're
Stop
in this
girl!
not a bad situation, but a case where they're not necessarily going to steal, but they're not going to give up a big end.
Yeah, like they kind of
Good.
let the Marshall team off the hook there. If they could have put that yellow
Yeah,
rock
they're
top
tapping it, Ben,
4,
it's okay.
biting the button, behind all
probably
those yellow
make it.
guards, they would have been in a really good position
Same
to
way.
steal.
Lots of line. Lots of line.
So they're asking for a tap
Fire's
back
better
with that
right
red
now.
one and a flop inside, but
Fire's better.
this rock
Fire's
is
better.
heavy and wide, so
Still no line. No, don't touch it. No.
Yeah, that's just going to chip off it.
Not bad.
Not
not
bad.
bad. It really did
You're
finish
about
nicely
that much-
inside the hog line.
Yeah,
But also what's important
back
too is
line.
that the sweeper's just backed right off of it.
yes.
Real nice weight. That's the weight I asked for, but you're just a little wide. Yep. I wanted to. You were.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Where's the weight? Aiden! Aiden, Aiden, you have to go! Aiden, hard! Hard, Aiden, hard, hard, hard! Go. Okay.
It's not a bad shot there with where they left it. It wasn't exactly what they were going for, but there's still
Not really.
some rocks that the
You
Steve
never
team
miss
has
like that.
to negotiate here.
Just hack.
As we saw before, the hit and roll is not always that easy.
Yeah, it's an ideal call, but I'm telling you, it's very difficult to make it on this ice.
Just hack.
They have a few inches there, so it's very possible in there. But again, it's hitting that right angle and sticking around too, while avoiding the jam on the back. That's
Right.
going to be the difficulty.
Yeah.
I would say if they rolled to exactly where they wanted, they would probably clip the back yellow.
Close. Close. Yep. Whoa. Never. Never. No. Yep. Hard. Hard.
And they did get the jam on the back, and it's tough to tell from this angle, but it looks like red might be shot.
Yeah.
It's not bad though.
But still, where they left their
Not
shooter,
bad.
it's in a good
Think that's
spot
good
at the
spot.
top.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy.
Yeah.
But I left that rock in a good spot.
He's only be on that, but it won't matter. Except in the rows. You can just draw here. See full 4. And then he's got that though. Is that your time? One call time. One call time.
I think if they guard or something else, they could go on the other side.
It's call time!
So a timeout called by the Marshall team.
Like he just threw that, right?
And I think that's a good time for a timeout here. We'll have a listen once the coaches get out there.
We have to be higher
As you
than.
mentioned, they have to take the long way around.
Yeah.
Starting over at sheet 1, and we're on
Sheet 7, yeah.
Yeah, but we heard some frustrations from the players not expressing, but it's worth
Yeah.
it for clean ice.
Can't really make a play on that. I don't think this
Like, the only thing, you can't even do anything with that.
well,
You guard. No, like for us. Like we can't do anything with that. We guard and then he has this whole side with backing. I think you have to. But then you give him that, you just threw it. They just threw that like 5 times in a row.
It's not going to curl enough to come here, eh?
I don't know.
That would be ideal, but
I wouldn't be down here.
He's not going to miss that. They just threw it 3 or 4 times, right?
yeah, it is.
He also has this, but that's probably easier. He'll probably just tap that.
If he is, he's coming from the other end from the other way.
Yeah, I think he draw this side.
I think we had to draw, yeah, but this.
You could guard almost.
I like that call because
What does he do if you guard? He draws.
And if he's short, we get 1.
Or we have it in like a
the
hit
draw on the
roll.
other side is there all
Off what?
Like there's a pocket.
I assume, yeah, I guess.
So if they don't touch that yellow,
I guess it was. That's not really there on my last.
Yeah, I don't know.
if they don't
I don't like giving him a draw though.
if they don't if
I'd rather give him a draw than that, to be
yellow,
honest.
I have a draw on the other side.
I kind of want to guard it. But
If we guard, he could always chip that out, though, right?
he could, but that's a tough shot.
He's probably got 3/4 of it.
Then we just draw here.
If you're guarding, you're putting it tight so that it gets both.
Not too tight, so we don't.
Those are all options. Tight guard or draw to the anchor. It's whichever you prefer to throw.
I like the draw, but
What are we doing?
good.
Thinking.
What's happening down there?
Well, they can't. They can't cover both. I have an easy tap on this side, and I have a wide open draw to
Are
the
we
back.
shot right now?
They are shot, but I think they have to guard or something, or draw the other side because
It looks like you can get in there with that out turn.
I could get in there on the out turn all day because and
They can't guard both.
tap.
We
They
should
can't.
be able to either bump theirs out or top ours.
And they can't hit that yellow anywhere. It jams everywhere they hit it, right?
So you do a little tap on our yellow.
I either have a tap or a draw. They can't do both.
Like,
if they draw
Can you be
this
back to this? No. If we guard and he makes a draw, I have nothing, though, that's all. I think so, too.
Okay, let's go with
Okay.
it.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
That's good.
Yeah.
If he's a little heavy, he does something like that
Then let's have a draw.
for a double.
It'd only be for 2, though.
Yeah, that's big. Guard them?
I think, like, straight guard the red.
Yeah, we guard the red, it guards that too. Right?
Yeah.
So after that whole discussion, they've elected to play the guard.
Right, on the red rock.
Yes, which also guards the yellow.
Right. What do you think of that, Danielle?
I think to be honest, it's a pretty good call because that yellow rock is just too dangerous for them at this point.
Yeah.
So if we're going by that assumption that they're shot at the back there, then it's a good call. I mean, you're never going to take away every shot from
Right.
the steep team.
Yeah.
Adam. Whoa, whoa.
Well done.
Very well done, and the steep team also knows that they're crunching the time here, so no hesitation. They had already talked out the possibilities, and
Yeah.
they're playing the draw. And
Like, heavy's
I mean, this
pretty
was
brutal because
this
they're
was
backing.
was what they knew would happen if they guarded the draw. But as we said, can't take everything away.
Right.
This is a spot on the ice they haven't played much either this game, so
Yeah, out to the edge of the 8, so I'm not sure what it's going to do, if it'll catch the curl like it does when it's closer to the 4-foot.
I think I'm late. All you. Line Silver's in. It's got to curl.
Or it catches that straight spot, which is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, look at that.
So the weight was pretty perfect, especially if it had caught the curl, they could have swept it right in there and it would have been higher, but.
Right.
Yeah, and it's my turn, so.
Just popped it, I think, a little bit. Fudge.
So that gives Marshall a chance here
Now we're
to
short on time.
draw into the
That
forefoot.
sucks, eh?
Yeah.
Just popped it, I think.
Full four. We play a little wick off that yellow if I'm heavy, but.
I knew the weight felt close on my hands. Just rolled it out of there. Yeah, it's pretty hard to miss this.
Aiden!
Probably
Aiden!
Looks like he got this going right out of his hand.
Got this really going.
Whoa!
Look at that, though. The sweepers have held that. Wow. That's how you make that shot.
It is. It is, and the roll in. A beautiful shot.
Very nice.
But you know what? That is how you make that shot.
It is. You know what, Danielle, I thought that was going to be all over the guard.
I was with you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And believe that was 2 points there, though we're going to wait for confirmation.
Right.
Did you get two?
Yeah, well, we do see that it tends to go more towards sheet 8.
Right.
So that was the straighter side they were throwing.
Yeah.
And I think the team is just as shocked as we are with that. But the throw allowed it to happen, and then also the sweeping, great brushing.
Sweeping made that shot for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we don't
So-
know for sure if they got two. I'm thinking they did.
Line 6? Because we're below.
But meanwhile, something that we should talk about while they head into their fifth end break is the time, Mary.
What are
So
they at here?
so we have both teams at 17 and change. So and at this point, at the halfway point with 38 minutes thinking time, they should be more around 19.
Yes.
So, but as we mentioned,
Yeah.
minute and a half end is not out of the question if you're in the hack and you're decisive with your shots.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they are a little short, and they did have a few ends with lots of rocks in play.
What? Yeah,
So they may have to play up and down the sheet for a couple of ends to catch up.
They do have some timeouts left, so each team has a 60-second timeout, and that doesn't include the travel time for coaches to get to the players, and especially over here, the time doesn't start until the coaches get to the players, so technically they have more than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Especially if they're heading down to the other end.
Yeah, that is definitely a long trek, isn't it, for the coach?
It is, but as I mentioned, as a player, I actually wouldn't be too upset about that.
Exactly.
So we're going to check in on the other scores of the games while we wait for our future sheet to update with their score. So Team Hall stole a single point in the fifth end, and they now lead 4-1 over Team Fayez. We have Team Steel 5-3 over Team Warner. Team Wilsey took a single point in the fifth end, and they lead Team Richard 3-1. Team Roson is making a comeback against Team Kimal, but it's Team Kimal that's leading 5-3. It's all tied up on Team Leung and Team Han, 3-all. Team Little 2-1 over Team Murphy. And Team Wallingford took a deuce in end number 5, and they lead Team Alt 4-1. We'll update you on our future sheet as soon as we know more.
I think it'll be after they start playing.
I don't mind blanking.
So this has been quite a game. Mary, what are your thoughts on the first 5 ends?
Well, I'm totally impressed with the shot making of these guys and the soft shots especially. you know, right off the bat, they were just throwing nice draws, nice soft, hack weight, backline weight hits. So that really impressed me for players that are this young. Usually that's something you learn when you're more in the adult stages of playing, and you realize you don't have to always throw the high hard one to make shots.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, and honestly, the strategy that I see out here is so good for such young people. You know, and that just shows of, you know, the training that these kids are getting at an early age. You know, the camps that they go to and the competitions they play against, and the coaching. Because I'll tell you, when I was this age, I did not know this much strategy. I'm really impressed with this. Tomorrow we will get to see the girls at play. We've had 2 games here with the boys now.
And it's true. We talked earlier about some of these teams even playing up in the adult ranks as well. So
yes.
giving them some pointers, and even if they're students of the game. I've seen you alluded to camps, and the Trillium Curling Camp is a long-standing camp in Ontario, and it's a high-performance camp for young adults, 13 to 18. And when you look across the board here, you can pick out many familiar faces who have attended that camp.
Right.
Let's go, boys.
Like you said, they're getting that training.
Alex. Come on. Let's go.
We're going to go in this end.
Okay, so there goes the score. They just put it up, so it is now 4-3 for the Marshall team, with Steep having the hammer in the 6th end.
Heard a comment from the Marshall team as they're heading down the ice. We're just going to put it in this end. So they're obviously concerned about time, wanting to have a more straightforward end, anticipating that the Steep team will also play along with them.
Yeah, and in most cases, the teams would put it in the house anyways, being up 1.
Top 4!
Agreed with that, Mary.
Yeah.
Line's good. Yep. Good.
And this is how you play a minute and a half end, when you're in the hack making decisions very quickly.
Right here, boys.
I'm going to watch the clock here, Danielle.
Hard, boys, hard.
I'm going to see if it takes a minute and a half.
Go. Hard, you got to bring it to 2. You got to bring it 2. Go,
see if they can do it.
Hard. Go. You got to walk it over. Go. Hard. Good sweep.
Steve.
Shoot rocks in motion, I think. And that's
So some nice quick decision making happening. Did you see whether they called for the tap? I believe, because they're rocking the top 12 really isn't in a solid steel position right now.
Where is it? Yep. Heavy. Hit low. Yep. Hard. Okay, Tyler, go tie. Oh, it's not heavy. This is perfect. Okay, that's good.
That's a nice looking tap.
Ignore it, control. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Whoa.
So they were originally trying to go for the rock in the top 4, but in the end ended up taking the rock in the top. Didn't really see much commitment though on, well, they were committed to try to get the bag, but once they were on the top, they really probably should have let it go.
Yeah, those, you know, you have to make such a quick decision on those. To say, okay, we're not making the original shot. Let's see what we can get out of plan B.
Gotta be over. Whoa, over and up.
Calling for a guard, and they have a high one. But that's enough for this Steep team to immediately call the peel.
Yep, yes! Clean, Adam, that one.
How are we looking for that minute and a half, Mary?
Actually, we're still looking okay. We've used up
We can't pop.
a little over than half a minute. Both teams.
Halfway. Xander in. Yep. Hard. Yeah, whoa. Yep. Go bit.
Perfect guard.
Get sweep. Get sweep.
Yep.
Again, this means another peel from Team Steep.
Adam. All right, let's focus up. Adam, you got it.
And Team Marshall looking to throw another perfect guard. And, we talked about this in the earlier game, how tough it can be to throw the exact same shot a whole bunch of times in a row. So,
Xander in.
and this is what they're going to need to do here as well.
Xander in. Yeah, you gotta go, Xander. Hard. Till it stops. Go. Hard. Good sweep. Good.
They did another
Start the
great
run.
shot. Now it came in tight enough
Just
now
off
that
nose.
they can look at playing the run, Mary.
North.
Yes. Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
a fairly
Go.
makeable run. Double.
Yep. Hard. Whoa. Roll it, Alex. Roll it. Hard. Ooh.
And now, well, the tolerance on that shot was just the single peel, but and on the high side at that.
Right.
So by doing this gives Team Marshall a little bit more leeway on where they put this guard. Doesn't have to be exactly as perfect in front of the rock.
Right.
Halfway.
That was another shot where a quick decision had to be made. If you're not going to make the shot that's called, you have to make the alternative
Hard,
shot.
Xander, go.
By leaving that yellow guard there, that's not helping them.
Good. Good sweep.
So as you can see, it wasn't a perfect
Stay
guard
away.
right on top of it, but the gap factor there, it guards the rock.
Right.
You use 40 seconds.
But by leaving this yellow rock exposed, now you have this chance for the run back.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded coming right around that yellow
Whoa.
one. Tight
Yep.
guard.
Yes. Hard.
I thought you were going to stop that.
And again, you talk tolerance and where you have here. And I mean,
How much is you have?
talked about the teams being down in time, but there are moments when you do need to take a breath
Yeah.
before your shot, and an extra 5 seconds
Right.
isn't going to kill you, and
Yeah.
especially if you're going to make the shot, if that makes all the difference.
Right.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
they're just
buried,
missing
but
all
it's
these shots, and now we're really getting a lot of rocks jumbling up the
Same as I was
front of the rings.
Oh, that's bad line call on both here.
Problem with this for the Steep team, they have the hammer here, and if Team Marshall throws a perfect guard here and guards this hole, they really don't have any way into the button at this point.
Yes,
Probably
you're
should
right.
have tried that run because
With
then
the corner
if you make a
guards.
field, then I had to draw for one,
Aiden in. Aiden, go a bit. Okay, whoa, over and up. Whoa. Q's good if it sits. sets. Sit, sit.
Great shot.
Yeah, nice guard.
Great shot. Blocks the hole.
We're like back on track now. We're not even behind. 4 minutes in.
Not sure they're clear about what they're playing.
Yeah, you're right. The
That
run
yellow
or the
run's
peel.
not there, so
Hear the skip calling
a little
down,
more.
or the vice calling down to the skip as he was going down the ice.
Yeah.
And again, I know he's probably thinking, gotta get to the hack, gotta make the shot, but again, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Quite good, actually. I like coming. I like coming this way, though.
Yep.
Right?
Whoa. Yes.
Like the way.
Whoa.
Wait, no, the way he's going.
Oh,
Man.
unfortunately, just missed the sweeping call on that.
I think you let him throw that hole, no?
Couple more licks.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Though if you want to take the silver lining and the positive
I
out of
think
that one, it's now a
You gotta
rock
hold against
further
that
away
draw.
from the button.
Right. Yeah, true.
Yeah, there.
Were you trying to play it the other way?
You like this? No, even in the house.
No, I have this wide draw.
Yeah, it's a tight hole.
Just need to touch 4 so it's there.
Yeah. If we're even, he can hit it and he won't be shot. I like this myself. We guard you to draw at 4 foot. Which I'm throwing now.
I think we got a.
That was a 3 and no sweeping, right?
Unless he's like back 4 over here.
Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
guarding. I don't know. He called it like top 8. That's like no line.
So they've opted to play the come around here and really put the pressure
A little heavy or no?
on the steep team.
Room!
Don, timeout on 8.
Xander! Sit!
Unfortunately, they gave them a bit of an out. They really needed that rock to be
And this.
anywhere from biting the 4 foot to higher to put the pressure on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we talked about earlier, this is the side that curls more, so you're more likely to get that finish and
Minute and a half.
be able to get a good piece.
Even if we just draw
I don't
two
even
and
know
go
if it would
one,
be
it's not
there on the outside, Mary, on
No,
the
you're
on
right.
the intern,
Yeah.
the way how straight it runs.
It's either
Yeah,
this or
needed-
through the hole.
Needed to be a little higher on that for sure.
If I crash and we're giving up 2.
Looks bigger at the other end.
I don't think this draw's there, to be honest.
He's have a run back. We wouldn't have had a run back.
Wait only. Wait only. Oliver, Oliver! Hard, Oliver! Oliver, you gotta go!
Gotta get
Hard!
at least second shot here.
Hard! Hard!
Pretty close on the throw,
Another quick one. Get ready.
but it is the Marshall team who picks up the steal of 1 in end number 6, so they now lead 5-3 going into the 7th, and that will be Team Steep again with the hammer in end 7. There was something I wanted to talk about there, Mary, when he got into the hack, and it was the thought process. We can't crash the guard was one of the words out of their mouth, and though it's very true, that was one of the last things that we heard them talking about. So
Right.
something you want to try to focus on is a more positive mindset.
Yeah. Was it the skip that said that or one of the front enders? One of the
I
sweepers?
believe that was the skip.
Okay.
just something to keep in mind if there are any young curlers watching this right now, and your thought process. It's these players are very, very talented, and it often just comes down to making the right shot at the right time. But in order to do that, you need the right mindset.
Right.
One more quick and that will be good. Even like doesn't have to be that quick.
And we have our first final out here in the evening draw. Team
Where
Hull
are we?
defeating
Adam's
Team
in.
Fayez
Adam's in.
6-1, and that was in 6 ends. We to catch you up on the rest of the
Adam, stay
sheets, we have
close.
Team Steel leading Team
Stay
Warner
close.
8-3 after
I know,
cracking
but
a
it
big
digs.
3-under
Just stay
in
close.
end
Yep.
number 6.
Yep.
Team Wilsey
Yep.
is winning 3-2 over Team
Huh.
Richard. Team Kimal is
Probably the closest we
5-4
could've
over
gone,
Team
really.
Rozon. Team Leung and Team Han still tied at 3
I
all.
don't think.
Quite a few
I don't-
blank
oh,
ends
we
in
got-
here.
We just. The runs were so
Team
close that we
Little
couldn't just
leads
play the
Team
field, and
Murphy
we got-
2-1.
We got really messy there. So let's just make sure
And
we score here.
Team
We-
Wallingford
with 3
still in the
ends,
lead
dude.
4-2
Stop
over
it!
Team
Okay.
Alt.
Aiden,
So I think they
stop it.
played that in about 2 minutes, Danielle.
Okay, pretty
Yeah,
good.
Not bad.
Not 1.5, but I mean, still
whoa,
2 is quite fine. That'll pick up the time.
That'll
If
pick it up.
you're talking about 4 and change for an end, that's
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Control. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard for the double. Hard. Whoa. Nice.
And a beautiful double. Not often that a lead gets to throw a double.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
But a pretty good setup here for the Steep team with the corner guard.
Yeah, they really want to bring that guard into play somehow, for sure. They're down 2 points here. It's getting late in the game. And this is, this is a situation here where, yes, they want to get rid of the red rock, but more importantly,
Whoa,
they have
yep.
to stick around.
Whoa.
Otherwise, that corner guard is going to be peeled,
Close.
and they basically will lose the end.
Yep.
So you have
It's
to
not-
stick
it's not
around
down.
here. And that's a little
That's
bit
what I
up
was
weight.
calling it.
And there it goes.
There's that danger you spoke of.
There he goes.
Thought Nathan was gonna catch that.
Yeah.
What? I called control.
Yeah, I just needed to maybe throw like a board weight at that shot, Danielle.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to roll behind the corner, but it has to stay in the ring.
For sure.
So the other team has to make a play on it.
It was only a 2-foot roll, so as we saw there, it doesn't take much for the rocks to bounce off each other.
Yeah.
You like that?
So now they're going to have to go back to the drawing
Okay,
board,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
start throwing some guards,
Okay.
and then pray for a miss.
Exactly.
Two. Adam's in.
Talk about some of the skip rocks being really important. Of course, the skips rocks always show up on the board in some way, shape, or form, but really the opportunities earlier on
That's fine.
also make a difference.
Oh, for sure. And that was a prime example right there.
Control.
Sometimes as a team, it's
Running
not
out of
always just on the player, but it's on the team to discuss the importance of the shot, the tolerance of the shot, and make sure everybody's on the same page
Right.
and reaffirm the importance. Especially when you're getting into a situation like these two teams are finding themselves in, where they're tight on time and need to select their moments
Yeah.
when to chat.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Well, there's a bit of a corner guard there. It's
Back
tight,
in.
and it's your opponent's, but it's something to use.
It is, and they'll take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit of ice here, so we did see some swing going out to the sides.
Well, he is taking quite a bit of ice.
Mine's
so-
good. Where?
look that rock picked.
Whoa!
It was hard to tell, but it definitely broke very aggressively.
Yeah.
No, the spines. Control. Last, stay low. Close. Yep. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 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 Clean, clean, clean. Good.
A great, nice quiet hit. And even though that rock is in the top 12, they're going to use that as a guard. At this point, that's what they have to do in order to get a deuce.
Nice shot. You should roll your first one out, but
Lots of line. Wait only, back
Still roll
8.
halfway. But you threw a bullet.
Hard line.
They didn't say that. Yeah, it's normal.
Hard.
The only kind of control it is.
Oliver, yes. Hard. Go, go, go. Hard, go. Go, tuck a piece. Not bad. I should have had you guys switch a while
They
ago.
did manage to get a piece covered here.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice shot.
Yeah.
We do have our southpaw coming up here,
Sorry,
though,
Adam.
so I think from the lefty hack we can see about all the rock, though.
Right.
And you
So
know,
I should switch to more.
not sure if they're taking that into consideration, but it's something definitely to be considered because they're coming at it from a different angle, and that
Right.
makes the shot easier when you can see more of the
More of
rock.
it, yes.
Whoa. Yup. Hard.
And this rock is just taking off.
Whoa.
Well,
I
Danielle,
think
that's
that-
what happened to the draw just before that you had commented on.
It did. 2 different spots on the ice, but it was around the same area.
Yeah.
No.
So it doesn't look like there are footprints on the ice from our vantage point, so it might just be where
You guys like splitting
those rocks
rings,
are
right?
going, or perhaps
With the time here.
perhaps a release that has a little bit of inside motion.
I've been had a draw
That's
to,
not
like,
apparent right
nothing
off
yet.
the bat.
Right.
And I mean, those things can factor in, but that was an unfortunate break because
T-line.
now the rock is mainly guarded.
Right. Yeah. So Team Steep here will now just draw to the open side to sit 2.
Brought it back. T-line, all you. Hard. T-line. Hard, boys. Never stop. Go. Hard. Whoa. Good sweep. I brought that back.
All right, and it wasn't exactly where they wanted it, but plan B, and good that they got it in for second shot.
That was curling so hard, I was worried it was going to overcurl and they wouldn't get second shot out of it.
Well, you could hear them calling it off at the end and didn't want to bring it any further to the side of the sheet.
Right.
He's going to make the double, yeah, I know. Now I'm drawing pin against 2.
Going to play the double here, Danielle. Think he's going to take a shot at it.
It's a pretty juicy looking double, if you ask me.
Whoa. Yup. Whoa.
Oh, so
I was
close.
gonna say, you
So
stop
close.
that, right?
So very close. Big shot here.
Yeah. Steep can tie it up here with a draw to the full 8 foot is all he needs.
Yeah, we're on the faster path, I think.
Did I touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the back end of it.
Put it on the pin, guys.
Yeah.
Team talk, faster path. Throwing here, straighter path.
Yes.
That's more. All you guys.
Are you sure?
Sweepers don't like this too much, but I don't like to see
Go
them
to back.
backing off completely.
All right, Tyler.
Well, just
It looks like it did hang around 4-2.
We have lots of time
Yeah.
now. What do you
So that is, we've got a tied game here, ladies and gentlemen. We are all tied up at 5-all heading into end 8, and that will be Team Marshall with the hammer going into end 8.
Where they come on?
well, we
And-
can't ask for better entertainment than this, Danielle.
That's
Both games that we've watched today, right down to the wire.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And an update on the other games out on the ice. We have Team Steel
Line's good.
continuing
all
to
you,
lead
two.
Team Warner 8-4.
2 boys.
Team Wilsley picked up a single in end number 7, so they now have a 2-point lead over Team Richard.
Hard,
Team
go.
Kemal,
As far as it goes, guys, you got it,
5-4
keep it going,
over
keep
Team
it going.
Roson.
Make it usable. Make it usable. Make it usable.
Team Leung with a 5-4 lead over Team Han.
Top
Team
eight,
Murphy and
go,
Team
guys,
Laurel
good ends.
are all
Good
tied
ends.
up at 2 after end 7.
Game, eh? We have 3 ends, so we don't need to be too aggressive.
And Team Wallingford just extended their lead by picking up a single in end 7, and they're now leading 5-2 over Team Alt.
Top 8. Top 8. Line's good. Yep. Hard. All right, guys. Go, 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 go.
So it can be
Last
frustrating to have kind of shots where they're not made as perfectly as you
Okay.
want them to. In that case, it just hung around the back.
Yeah.
But what was good and what we heard is that they knew what the paths they're doing,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
that's very important.
Line's good.
Now
all
it's
you.
just doing what you know.
6. Close. Line's good. Oliver's in. Really needs a curl. Yeah, you gotta go. 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 Bring it all the way back. All the way back. You gotta go hard. Both of you. Go, 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 go. Just a little outward motion, Alex. It's fine.
And we heard that little outward motion on
Yeah.
the straighter side of the ice, and
Yeah.
didn't get the finish they were looking for.
So I think Marshall will just ignore that rock, Danielle, and just try to put
Where
one
is
top
it?
4 here.
Absolutely.
Need this?
Looks a little hot here, though.
Okay. Line's good.
Lots of rotation on that rock.
Yep.
There is.
Hard. Line's good. Line's good. Switch.
That is quite a bit of rotation, more so than we saw.
Hard. Hard. Okay. Good.
We're 1. If you end up here, it's not bad. All you, top 8. Where? Wait only. We to it? Adam's close. Whoa. Adam, whoa. Yep, Adam. Hard, hard, hard. Oh.
some frustration there. They were originally calling for the freeze, but heavy and wide, so they're looking to not rub that red one in behind any further, but unfortunately just missed the sweep on that one. So here you can see a great opportunity for a hit and roll.
Yeah.
Set 2.
Yep. All the way. Hard. 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 Good.
And that was quite the sweep. They managed. They kissed the top red rock, but still managed to get that back one, and almost a little bit of a roll. I heard some words of frustration from the steep team, and I mean, as much as that can be frustrating, you got to expect that your opponents are going to make the shot, even if it doesn't look pretty.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hard then, hard! 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 Hard line, go! Hard! Hard, you gotta be here, guys! You gotta be here, go!
Sweepers got tripped up by that one because it really carved
Get out of
hard,
here!
It did, yeah.
and so it lost all its weight.
Oh, it couldn't be light there. I thought you were the same weight on your hand. I don't know what I'm saying. It's going to start with that way.
So Marshall's got hammer here, and he's sitting 2.
We probably have to play it. We're tied. We're playing with
He's going to throw a guard on these.
If you make that, Aiden got so lucky too.
Xandrin! Whoa! Where is it? Is it here or no? No. Okay. Good. A little tight, but that's good. Easy red, yellow.
So they're hoping to play a guard, but they want that to be higher because now, as you can see, the steep team has that red into the yellow into the red. That's a much easier shot when it's tighter.
Norm! Off nose! Yep! Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Loaded it.
I like higher.
And unfortunately, just
Higher's better.
too wide. You could heard them mention they put that outside motion on it.
Yeah.
And that rock is gone. So now Marshall will have to be more precise with their placement of this guard.
Yeah, he wants it a little higher. I'm usually not crazy about putting up a guard when I have hammer guarding the 4-foot area, but I think in this situation he kind of has to.
Where is it?
Question mark?
Yeah.
I know. I'm with you, Mary. It seems it's an odd end because red has the hammer, yet they're the ones throwing the guards into the middle. But they're sitting so well right now that it's something they have to do.
Yeah.
So you can see it's the steep team who's having to chase, and they're asking. So this guard was pretty well placed.
Yes.
High guard, but steep team's still going to try to run it in. They need to change the situation in the 4-foot.
Yep! Whoa! Whoa! That's good.
All right, so they made that hit on the top and contact with the tight guard.
No draw here now.
Pretty close to making that run back perfectly there, Mary.
First one,
How
you
much
just
this
throw it
you
over
have?
there. Yeah, I know.
Come here. Okay.
Driving there.
Halfway.
Side yellow now.
Higher, better.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Same thing.
You know, another shot they could play here, Danielle, is come this way and freeze on top of the red rock, so as to if the other team makes a play on it, there is a jam at the back, and it could bring a 3 into play.
Right here. Okay, go.
Not easy shots here the way these guards are staggered.
Exactly.
Got it, curl. You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta.
That really hung out.
Okay.
See, now that gives Steep a chance here. Tap this back a bit.
I think we just pick it. Just pick it clean. Lose this one. I think that's a shot. Normal. Normal. We're just going to pick it.
So call is just to get rid of that rock on the button there. Their yellow one's set up pretty a decently good place for a potential tap.
That'd be dirty.
Heard some frustration from both teams about how straight the ice is, and that
probably normal up.
I agree. As a player, I know both of us know that straight ice can be frustrating to play on, but the counter argument to that is that this is the ice that you have to play on. You've got to figure out how to play. The team that figures out how to play on this is going to win.
Yeah.
What do you think? Guard, same thing?
So you can get mad at it all you want, but you're going to have to deal with it.
Actually, he's don't have that, eh?
Now that wasn't even really close, and I don't think that had anything to do with the ice being straight necessarily, because they do know that it's very straight down there. I think he just got that one out a bit. You know what? I don't hate playing on straight ice as long as the speed of the ice is good and stays good for 10 ends. And to me, this speed is really nice, and it hasn't budged at all. It's been the same speed from the first end, so I would, take what you can get and deal with it.
Consistent ice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just had a very similar experience to what these players out here are experiencing when we were playing at the Canadian Mix. We got on ice that was similar to this, actually less curl. And it took us a few games to adapt to it. And I know me personally, I had the biggest struggle of the four of us because I spent the season playing on ice that had 4 feet of curl, 4 or 5 feet of curl. So, but I mean, you have to adapt to it.
You do.
If you don't, you're not going to win.
No, for sure.
So get your complaining out of the way and then go make shots.
And that's maybe something that the coaches can talk to them about after the game, right? It's like, get that out of your head. Yes, it's straight, so let's play like we can.
Go, Aiden. Hard, Aiden. Hard, Aiden. Hard. Good, good, good.
That was a perfectly placed guard. Couldn't have walked it down any better.
It's jams, right? Yeah, but
If you hit what you can see, I think they both go. I think so. They're a minute ahead of us now.
with normal? With norm?
Yeah, we still have lots of time.
Okay.
It's up to you, though. I don't mind him going. No, I didn't. Is he playing it?
Same way as my last one. Yep, whoa, yes, yes, hard, 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 go, go, go,
Oh
hard,
my goodness.
hard, hard, hard.
What a
Beautiful.
great shot. Great shot.
Let's go.
For second.
Great throw, great brush, great call.
Yeah.
You saw a draw anyway, eh?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of shots you need to turn the momentum around in your favor.
Yes, for sure.
When you called Oliver on, I thought we were on the frickin' top one.
Give me a little more.
Oh.
For second shot. Yeah, but we got a draw.
That's the best we could have done. They do have like the butter tap for 2,
Need 4 foot.
but that's a lot better than giving up 3.
So that forces Marshall into having to take a point here. He was set up for that 2-ender the entire game. The entire end, sorry.
Completely. Now needs a good chunk of the forefoot for that single.
In and always. Yep. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Very nice shot.
Good sweep.
Beautiful. So that's a single for the Marshall team. They now lead 6-5 over Team Steep. So heading into the 9th, then that'll be Team Steep with the hammer.
Good force. Not really, but
Well, good force is right. I wouldn't add the not really part onto there that we just heard, but it took a solid shot, but in the end,
textbook force there.
in the end, it was still a good result.
So we have hammered
So,
down, right?
looking
I don't
across
mind
the
breaking
ice,
this, or if we get the deuce, we get the deuce.
We have Team
play
Warner
clean.
with
We don't
a
need to
steal
have that.
1 and 8,
We don't
and
need to
they
have that.
trail
We just
Team
did.
Steele
So,
5
Miss
to
Right Way,
8.
we're good, eh?
Team Richard taking a single and end to 8, and
Weinstein.
they trail Team
Go.
Wilsey 3 to 4. Team Kimal
Over and off. Over and off.
took a deuce in end number 7, so they now lead 7 to 4. Team Han
Force
took
back.
a single in end 7, and so but Lee Young still has a lead. That's 5 to 4. We had a blank in the 7th end of the game, Murphy and Little, so that low scoring affair, 2-all.
That's all right.
And
You're so tight.
Team Wallingford.
Adams in. Hard line.
They after
Hard line!
7 they were 5
Hard
to 4,
line!
but Team
Hard,
Wallingford
hard,
happened
you
to
got
take
it!
2 in the
Hard,
8th
you
end,
got
so they only trail by
Hard!
1 point now.
I just gave him the center guard. Slow now.
Top 4.
Both teams are quite happy with the time on their clock now.
They are, yeah. They're much more comfortable now. So we should see a good last 2 ends here.
Aiden. Where is it? Okay. Room. Line's good. Tyler in. Not behind T though. Yep. Go, 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 go. Good sweep. Good.
Great rock, and as you heard, they really needed to keep it above T on this shot.
It's a perfect rock. And it did finish nicely around that guard.
Wait only. Hard. Hard. Light's terrible. Can't be light there.
They said light's terrible, but I would counter that with it's not the worst thing in the world.
No.
Heavy would be knocking anything out of it, but in this case they really need a force. So having that extra rock as a guard is not the end of the world.
Yeah. It's nice and tight. It's definitely usable
Keep
rock.
back here then. Whoa, 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 whoa. Tyler. Get the nose, get the nose. Okay, good.
I mean, I don't always want to sound like flowers and sunshine, but you also have to be realistic about exactly what is happening out there on the ice, and be able to see what's positive.
Curl. Okay. Tell him to take his time. We have good on the clock.
We've seen a lot of positivity out there. That's probably one of the few comments we've heard, actually. You know, a little bit of negativity. These guys have been great.
Line's close. Line's good. Line's good. Yep. Switch. Switch. Go. Okay.
Do you have it all?
Curl as much as Anderson. That'll look good all the way down.
Do you like Norm or control?
Good chance here for them to be able to remove 2 of these red rocks. Just a hair off nose, and I really like that they're calling it more of a controlled weight.
Right. Yeah.
Stick around.
Stick around in the rings.
Whoa. Close. Yes. Yes. Hard. 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 Oh, jeez. Okay, not bad.
Go, yes.
So they just need a
We're 2.
few feet more sweeping on that to hold it out.
Yeah.
But not bad is right, because at least they jiggled things around in the forefoot.
Top 4. Room. Room. Yeah, go. Go room. Go Aiden. Yep. Hard. Hard. Okay, that's good.
Great finish.
Yeah.
Still looks like it's about
Forward.
half to 3/4,
you
more
get
like
the
3/4
guard, it's okay.
exposed. So here's another double opportunity.
Yeah.
And getting this one is pretty big.
Kind of has to hit what he can see, and he might get the double.
All right.
A little on the outside of the rock.
Okay, keep it up.
Whoa. Close.
Just throwing nice weight here again.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. 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 Hard roll on yellow. Real nice.
Nice controlled weight.
Yeah.
Though they would like to catch that sweeping just a hair earlier, so that they could
Dug down again.
squirt that red one out, because right now it appears red's saying 1 for sure, and possibly even 2 at the back.
Right. But Marshall has to be a little careful here. He's leaving a couple of yellow rocks in the rings. And yellow has hammer.
Whoa. Whoa. Where is it? Whoa, 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 whoa. Aiden. Aiden, you really gotta go. Go, Aiden, 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 Aiden. Okay, good.
And plan B worked out. You can see that rock's pretty much fully buried behind the center line guard.
Either that or peel.
I'm saying at least 2.
Play this. Control.
So lucky. still sitting 3-2. I don't know how.
Yep, yep.
What
Yep.
are they doing?
Hard! 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 Jeez. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Well, that wasn't the called shot.
Probably hit this, eh?
I had a feeling it was going to. I don't know if he turned it in at all, but I had a feeling it was going to curl there. Going to both wings seems to be a lot of curl.
Yeah, the most aggressive curl we see out here, that's for sure.
Almost corrected.
But that didn't do exactly what they were looking for, but it ended up working out in the end.
Wasn't too bad.
It felt good. It was
I mean, we did hear red was sitting 3 at the end, so they removed 2 of those reds.
Yeah.
Well, if he noses it, we play the double and we're staying 2. If he rolls out, we got a corner.
I think I hit now, eh? Roll Aiden's way. Control. Rolling out's
If
wide
you
there,
get
then
by, you
no
probably
one
make
makes
it
beyond. But yeah. Full 12, yeah.
If you make it by, you're
All right, so they're playing this hit and roll. They want to roll it over to the left side. It's crucial to get this roll too, otherwise they'll leave a double for yellow to sit 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually good. I thought it was
Either that or you hitting
Actually,
it real thin and making
it sort of worked for them the way it rolled to be beside the rock.
It did. There's no double for the yellow team. So they'll just hit this one. The one on the left side as we look at it. And
hit it
just
right on the nose.
hit it on the nose.
Yeah. We knows that they're guarding for their lives, right? It's doubles way too thin, and I think it jams.
they knows. Or hit that and roll in. I don't know, it depends what it is. I don't think it's playing double.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Thought they were going for a hair more of a roll there, Mary, but still not a bad shot.
Still being the 8 foot, right?
Good.
Probably ought to come this way, right? He doesn't have to be buried. Try bury it though. Here.
If he's ever heavy, you gotta be ready to sweep it because you can bring it back 12. We have a hit for 2, 3.
All right, so they've elected to play the come around. Mary, your thoughts on this one?
Well,
Well, for the 3, you gotta play.
it's a bit of a risk. Bit of a risk leaving 2 yellow rocks in the rings, but they are shot rock, and if they can get another one where there's no double possibility for the steep team, I don't mind it.
Let's go! Yeah!
We have tons of time.
Right?
6 minutes.
What's he have? He has to draw 4, full 8. It's easier shot too. Yeah.
So he's decided to guard. Now this guard does have to be perfect. If it's not, yellow has a shot for 3,
I like
right,
that,
Danielle?
actually.
If they can,
They do, or
Yeah.
at least 2 if they leave any part of the outside of the yellow exposed.
Right. yeah.
Yeah.
In a spot that the players are familiar with throwing as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't give up.
So the old saying, sometimes the best guard is second shot.
Yep.
Right? So perhaps putting another rock in the rings is a better choice. But if he makes
Can you bring
this,
it in? Can you bring it in?
should be fine.
Can you bring it in? Yep. Yep. Hard. Whoa, you're right. Go in.
Whoa, Adam. Whoa,
Keep it in
Adam.
the 8 foot.
I think they heard you, Mary.
They did. Well, he definitely
Okay.
threw a lot of weight on that for a guard, but again,
fine.
I think that's there.
that works for them.
And like you said, there's now no double here.
4
Yeah.
minutes then. Yeah. Yeah. No.
You can see they even got a piece buried.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have timeout too, right?
So Steve only
and we're just only peeling.
only option here is to
Yeah,
draw
we're only peeling everything.
for a
right?
point.
So Aiden's will take literally 2
And not the
seconds.
easiest draw either.
No, they need a piece of the 4 foot, and
Yeah.
this is huge. This is against 2 red rocks, so
Exactly, Danielle. That's a good point.
Top yellow.
Drawing against 2.
in the 9th end.
Right, and already down 1.
Aiden, is anything slowing down? I don't think it is. I don't give that
Potential
lot.
for a 3-point swing here, so you really need to nail this draw.
Yeah.
So,
I
needing a
don't think
piece
it's
of
slowing
4 foot,
down.
team steep.
Line's good, all you. Close line, yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard line. Hard. Hard.
Very nice shot.
Beautiful pressure draw by the skipper.
Yes, for sure.
Tied up, so we are all tied
keep
at
the first
6
4
all here
blocks quick, eh?
after 9 ends.
Yeah.
That will be Team Marshall with the hammer, and
You wanna
this will
try it?
this will be our final end.
It will.
Yep.
What a great game this has been.
Take a look. We have more final scores across our
Take your
our
time.
ice. Over on sheet 2, we have Team Warner is
3
making
or
a
1.
comeback. They've had a
on.
steal of 1 and 8 and a steal
Three's
of 1 and
better.
9, so they now only trail by 2 against Team Steele. 8-6 is that score. And Team Wilsey took a single point in N9, and they lead 5-3 over Team Richard going into N10. Our
3 or
final
1.
here, Team Kamal, 9-4 over
3.
Team Roson.
Adams in.
Another final, Team Leung picked up their
1.
first win of the tournament,
1.
8-4 over
and
Team
off then.
Hong.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Team Little, single and 8, leads 3-2 over Team Murphy.
Back line.
All right, guys.
And
have
we are
tons of
all
time to
tied
take
up
as much
over
time
on
as you want.
sheet 8. It is 5-all for Team Ald and Team Wallingford.
Yeah, Team Auld has come alive out there. They've stolen the last 2 ends.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Hard.
So here's the tick shot we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Hard.
Let's see how far this goes, Danielle. Oh, that's way out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Close.
Yeah.
so hard to make that shot on this ice.
Honestly, I have no idea where this was.
It is. And this is a
Nathan, does that
chance
look
when
close?
you want to drop your
I
weight
think so,
for that
yeah.
tick shot, maybe more of a backline weight.
Yeah, I think
3.
they're going to have
2,
to on this
3.
ice play. Yeah, just a back line at the most.
Lots of line. Oliver's in. 3. 3. Take a look. All you. Needs a curl. Can I go?
They don't want this in the rings.
Good judge, guys.
Very nice.
There's some scary moments there. And as a sweeper, you know you're like, uh-oh. It's not pleasant to come back down to the other end when you oversweep your leads rock.
Especially that shot. It's so important because you have the free guard zone.
Top 4. Line's tight. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Line's good. Line's good. Top button. Top button. Go, Todd. Yep. Hard. Hard. Go, 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 go. Good.
So great lie on that. They did want it deeper, more
Back
into
four.
the
Do you like the
forefoot.
tap? Or do you like the straight draw? All right, draw. Back
I
four.
am with them for this shot. Forefoot is wide open.
Yeah. Yeah, they just put that perfect guard up there. They don't want to fiddle around with that guard. They don't need to tap that. Just come around it.
Adam, Adam. Adam early. Yep. Line's good. Adam. Hard. You're mine. Alex. Alex, yes. Hard. 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 Go, go, go. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Every inch, every inch. Go, 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 go. Real nice.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the leads are the ones who are known for drawing, but quite often when it comes down to these situations where you're tied or you need to steal in the seventh, it is the second, first or second rock that's the one that ends up being a crucial draw.
Yes,
They're known for their hits, but they also
Yeah.
need to pull out a draw or two.
they do.
Yep.
That
yep.
is in a
yep.
perfect position
Hard. Hard. Roll here.
for
Roll
the
here.
steal.
Good.
Because if they can keep guarding this rock, eventually Marshall may have to try to outdraw it, and it's going to be pretty tough to outdraw that.
Yeah, it was close. I think you're close to the broom.
It's the 1-2. 1-2. You got to cross center. Where? Where? Alex, close.
Don't want to set up a double here.
Well, just let it stop. Let it stop. Let it stop. Not bad. It blocks the tap still. Like they still gotta. They still
Not
gotta.
bad, though. I would have actually tried to drag it about a rock width further so that the double on those two
It's not
guards
good.
wouldn't be there.
Yeah, he didn't seem too concerned about that.
I'll be pretty happy. Eh? Yeah, that's what I said.
Whoa!
He popped that hard. I might even flash.
That is a lucky break for the steep team. So now they have a chance to put
Can you see
a
any
third
of the shot
guard
rock?
up
Yeah.
on the center.
Yeah. I would say they need a long one here, Danielle. Long guard. Yeah.
Like this?
Agreed. I think they need a center line guard here, though. Not liking that call to go more towards the corner. It doesn't need to be a gap factor guard here. We just need to
on the
throw a
center
good
line,
guard
Max.
on the center line.
Right.
Worry about that gap factor once you get further into the end.
Yes.
It's a 1-2. Whoa. 1-2. Where? Where? Close then. Yep. Whoa. Yep. 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 Whoa, you're rubbing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just got him a slight there.
No, I might be tempted to throw a different shot here, Mary. Looking at the center line yellow rock and the rock they just threw instead.
Yeah, I agree. Double off the one on the center line and the one to the right.
Leave a guard for your own.
Okay. Good.
So now you see her, that red is completely exposed.
Okay. Piece it.
Though on the same token, not bad though, because now it's more accessible.
Lots of line. Just a 2. Need to cross center a little. Need to be half and half here. It's going to over curl. Over off, guys. Hard! 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 Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. Holy. Good sweep.
You try that. Just throw firm.
Those are hard to throw, though. They're so afraid of throwing it tight and setting up a double peel. So they tend to pull a little off of that.
Yes.
Almost hog it. Does the trick, though.
It does. It's got the Marshall team thinking.
Yeah.
This one?
I think it hit so.
Yeah.
You couldn't guard anything. They had this run.
It's really important for Marshall to get that one off the button, for sure.
Oh, dangerous shot here, because you've got to
I
be
can make a
careful
nice
not to
draw
jam
at
it on
least,
the red.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
You
Hard.
definitely didn't note that one.
Hard. Okay. Whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. Okay.
Guard this side.
A little bit of a roll there in that spot. And unfortunately,
how much
where
do
they
you see
rolled
that
to,
red one
they
in
rolled
the
to
hack?
guard position.
Exactly. It would have been better to stick right there. At least they'd have something.
What shot's easier? Do you think that shot's easier? Than the back line draw. I think we have to throw this. And if they make that, then we just draw to it, right? Kind of want. We have tons of time. Do you like this? What shot's easier, the heavy draw or the run back? I think the draw is easier, isn't it? Is the draw, we have tons of time. Is the draw easier or is the run back easier? I don't mind guarding this side.
Does he ever pick?
If he picks it, we draw and make another one. We'll just
Might need it for our next one.
we'll get his opinion.
So after all that, they decided to call a timeout.
This is probably the more.
They had a good amount of time on the clock, but
Yeah.
this is definitely
Well,
worth
I think
a
we
timeout
guard-
It's,
call.
it's a little crucial.
My
Yeah.
gut wants to guard the draw. But with the lefty, this is an
So
easier
just before
shot,
the
isn't it?
coaches come out here,
Board weight
Daniel,
by the
what do you
guard.
like?
Board weight by the guard, he makes it
I
all day.
personally like the guard on the red rock. I think that's a way more makeable shot.
I do
Yeah,
too.
but then he's like.
Yeah, but then he's top button.
I don't think he throws the pick. I think he draws.
No, I
And
think he
it's not
plays
that
a
the
heavy
other shot
pad.
isn't there. It's just that it
I think
looks
with a lefty, this
much
is a
more
lot
natural.
harder.
How
Yeah.
about you, Mary?
I agree. I agree.
And it,
I think I have to guard this.
like you said, you guard the draw even if he
I think I
makes
gotta
the
put it
pick
just
on
on the
that
other side
rock.
of
He
curling
still has
Ontario.
a shot, whether he plays the straight pick or whether he plays some sort of a tap and roll. There's
Yeah.
going to be a roll.
Yeah.
If he dead nuts it, I gotta draw a pit. And then he has a pick.
Yeah, I don't know. Depends with the guard.
And if he makes this shot, you don't have
I have
If he
anything.
comes this way, he
and
might still have to leave
I might
himself
have
a
a
little bit open.
shot.
He might
Yeah.
have open.
So I think I have to put it like just on the curling, right on the edge of curling Ontario, like right on the end or just over.
Yeah, right on the edge of the star.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
You can't guard both.
Both,
But
yeah.
if he plays this shot and he nuts it, you have nothing.
Yeah.
This side.
I have still some. Okay, cool.
Sorry, guys.
Let's go, boys.
I have to say it's actually a trillium up there, so they're aiming to put it on the trillium. It is shaped like a star, though.
Yeah.
So I like their discussion. Also, their discussion about they were bringing to play Team Marshall. They were throwing against a lefty.
Lefty,
So
yeah.
he can see even less, if anything, of that rock.
Yeah,
we have
true.
to play this. We have to play this. Okay? So let's just put it right on the star.
So though it would be nice to put it exactly on the logo there, I mean, even a little bit higher
Yeah.
is still completely fine. It's a little bit more of a line shot at this point.
Then they have a line run. Right on the edge of the star there, guys. What do you think the two is here?
05. Okay, what did Adam throw?
Wait only. Hard! 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 Go! Hard! 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 Whoa!
Great scrub to get that over.
Is it fudging? I made a guard. Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! Need back four, wait. Back four. That's all we need. Okay, yeah. Just gotta get by that red, right?
Let us know line.
Yeah. Heavy draw.
Crucial shot. So a lightweight tap back coming from Team Marshall.
Yep. Whoa! Whoa! Aiden! Hard, Aiden! Hard!
Mission accomplished. Not perfect. They could have come closer to the guard.
Yeah.
Yes, but getting it off the button was crucial.
Weird, but like, we're talking tolerance.
Yeah, because if we end up here, he's got to make. I don't even know what he does. He's got to make the run, right? But yeah, if we're here, that's money.
Where do you like the You got a minute 30 lost time.
Like, I don't mind he crashing on this, right? So tighter's better. Tighter's better. Yeah, tighter's better. Top four buried. Maybe a little more. Yeah, light is definitely the miss. A little more. What do they have?
So they're calling a guard on
Light's
this
the
shot.
miss.
They've got to make sure that they've at least got a piece of this red covered, so they don't leave in and off.
I think I'm light. Line! Hard line!
I think they're coming in, Danielle.
I agree.
Yeah,
I didn't see that indicated, but
Yeah, I thought I heard Steve say top 4 buried.
Hard! Hard!
Don't want to be
Whoa!
deep.
Whoa!
Think that's easier?
Yeah, that's a big mistake. You had to be
I didn't feel that
short,
heavy.
if anything,
Yeah,
on that shot.
agreed, Mary. And they talked about that too. And I was surprised they were bringing that
That
back
didn't
at
feel
the
that
end as
heavy.
well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even if they
Give it to him.
dropped it
What was I
sort
back
of corner frozen on their own there, at least it would have made that hidden roll off of the red more
Yeah.
difficult. So a timeout called, but they know what they're going to play.
Oh, did they call a timeout just for the extra time?
They did. They got the
Okay.
coaches all excited and moving, but really this is,
Just for some extra time here.
of course, why not?
Yeah.
So this is a draw to the button for the win.
Sweepers got on that fast.
Yep. Heads down, line's fine. Hard! Hard, go! Hard! 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 Hard, go! Hard! Go!
Beautiful sweep by the front
Very
end.
nice shot.
Team Marshall pulls off the win with a draw to the top button. So final score is 7-6 on our feature sheet. Team Marshall with big win over Team Steep.
Really, really good game, Danielle.
We were treated to that one. And
Yeah, we were.
can't ask for anything better than a made shot on
Absolutely.
for the win.
So that concludes our game on the feature sheet tonight, with Team Marshall drawing the button to defeat Team Steep by a score of 7-6.
And we'd like to take this time to thank all of our viewers for watching the coverage of the 2017 Ontario U21 Curling Championships, brought to you by Curl On. Been a great set of games out here right across the sheets, and we hope that you've been tuning into the live scoring and our live stream. We'll be here all week.
We will be here. Just going to give you a quick update on what we're going to see tomorrow.
What kind was it?
We will have Team Warner taking on Team Little.
Right, tomorrow at 10 a.m., Danielle?
Yes, we will be here. And if you're in the area, love for you to come out to the Andale Golf and Curling Club. But if you can't, we hope you are tuning in with us here on Title Sports Live.
Well, I'm going to bed. What are we doing?
So get that,
Yeah, I think
these two games. So we have a happy birthday going out, a very happy birthday to the second of Team Marshall. And they, that would be Aiden Poole, got a birthday win today.
Yeah. Today's, oh,
11-11, make a wish.
As you can see, coming up tomorrow, we have Team Warner versus Team Little at 10 a.m. At 3:30 p.m., we have Team Skip by Josh Leung and Charlie Richard on our feature sheet, followed by our evening draw, Team Wallingford taking on Team Roson. On behalf of Mary, myself, and our entire TSL crew, we wish you a good evening from the Annandale Golf and Curling Club. This has been a presentation of Title Sports Live.